Good morning, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, the 13th of November.
Wait a minute. Try it now.
Okay. Good morning, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, the 13th of November, 2024. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by you guys, the culture. And of course, you're hosted by the best. Someone, again, hosting with me and Brent in spirit. But Brent, how are you, man?
Blessed and highly favored. I'm hearing some music outside.
Ah, one of the spirits have manifested in the flesh. We thank God. We thank God.
You been keeping up with the Trump news?
Not as much.
All right.
What has happened, Brent?
A couple things.
Mm.
One, he's been forming his cabinet,
Oh yes. Yeah, know about that part.
and Republicans are not happy.
Why? Because of the guy we're gonna speak about in the headlines,
I don't know who's in the headlines.
Mr. Musk.
Nah, I don't think so. I think
Okay.
they're a big fan of his.
Okay. Oh, talking about the other guy, the borders are.
No, I think it's more so the appointments that are pro-Israel, like fiercely pro-Israel.
Okay. Fair enough.
And I have a couple threads that have the appointments in it, and it breaks down. They're all from like APAC. They're all supporters, heavy supporters.
Well.
Yeah, so far. Yeah. And apparently, they fear that it's going to be worse than the current government.
But
Oh, they tricked them.
I don't know if that's what it is, but that's where it's leading to. That's what they're saying.
They got bamboozled. They got duped.
Yeah.
but who got bamboozled the Duke though? The
People.
Americans or the Republicans?
The Americans.
Because wasn't Trump saying I'm pro-Israel too? He didn't really quibble about that.
Sorry, did I ask y'all if there's going to be an end to this war?
I don't think so.
I didn't ask you that.
I don't think so. I think we
Did
spoke about.
Did I ask you about Ukraine?
I think so.
And did I ask you about Israel?
I don't think so.
100% did.
But even if you didn't ask me, I think I've said before that I think Trump's going to go in there, wrap it up.
When you say wrap it up, what do you mean?
As in, it will favor Israel, but he'll be like, listen, I'm done sending you billions of money, like to keep killing people. Wrap up the war. Let's get the ceasefire done.
Or ceasefire.
Yeah.
So you did respond to me and you said that he's going to be for a ceasefire, right?
Yeah. I don't remember you
Alright,
asking,
and
but
this is
yeah.
what I think this is what the fear is, that he's not
On
going
a
to be
ceasefire?
doing that. It's going to be, let's remove Hamas.
Okay. Based on the
Because
cabinet.
the Rubin guy, he's on camera saying that quite a few times. And what is her name? Her name is Elise Stefanik,
Okay.
which they're coining her a rabid Zionist rep. And that's the UN ambassador.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Secretary of State is Marco Rubio. Like they're really angry. Like the staunch
Is Rubio
fans
the,
are really angry.
the Latino guy?
Yeah.
Okay. He's got some diverse representation, though, isn't it?
It says it says pro-Israel bootlicker.
But who's written these descriptions? The left?
No. It's an APAC tracker. I think it's
Okay.
a anti-Jewish account. But you know, like a lot of them Republicans are anti-Jewish, innit?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, yeah.
Anti-dynasty, I mean.
I wasn't even gonna say that. Let me not even go there.
You know what?
I was just gonna say, not necessarily they're anti-Jewish, but they're anti.
Hey, let's say J, because I don't want this,
Yeah, for real.
this stream to get popped down.
Yeah, for real.
Anti-J.
Yes, anti-Jays.
All right. Good morning, Mark. We've missed your political commentary.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad.
Really missed it.
I'm glad, man.
Yeah. But congratulations, though. We saw you on big TV yesterday,
Yeah, man.
bringing the vibes and that.
With
you
the
watch it?
horns.
Apparently, you were voted as the most handsome bald man in the world.
Yeah, I'm the sexiest bald guy in the world. It's official now.
Well
Handsome.
done.
It was
well
always
done.
official. I don't know why you need Shade Bar to validate me. How can Shade Bar validate me?
Shit, bro. What you talking about?
That's where they post. That's where the list. That's where the list
I'm
goes.
just talking about the word in Brent's studio. Everybody's coming in saying Max is the handsomest guy in the world. I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, it's official. I was like, okay. I didn't know where they got it from.
Why? Who said it? Men.
Men and women. And I have no days through here. I was just double checking to see if it is. I did. Not yet.
No, 'cause-
God willing. God willing.
That's the sentiment on the streets right now, isn't it?
Yeah, bro.
That's the sentiment in the streets.
I didn't know that it came from shit, bro. That's the source.
That's why I'm upset. Because I'm saying like I don't understand how come you needed Shea Butter to. You don't needed Specsavers.
Yeah.
That's what you needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, man. But yeah.
I want to throw up
Hey, if you ain't watched the Rap Game UK episode as well, yeah, go on iPlayer and watch it for me. Run them numbers up.
run
so
the numbers
so
up.
they know it's levels, so they can. So I'll make sure I
Run the numbers
get
up.
back in that building. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, man.
Well, you
Respectfully,
already
they should
know.
have promoted it a bit better. Because I didn't know till I saw your stories.
Well, I didn't know at all, so
You know what I'm
motion's
saying?
fine.
So what?
Word and road got
Did Word on Road do it?
Yeah, not Esther. As in just airs to the streets and that. You know,
What was
the
happening
streets come
at the
true, yeah?
time? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have liked to, been like, okay, cool. It's on at 8. I'm gonna watch it. You know what I mean?
Well, that was. I posted it in the morning that it was coming on.
That was it.
First thing, it was.
Yeah, he doesn't really like to promote stuff that he's on.
Humble and that.
All across the board, he's consistent.
Is that why you can't get too mad at me?
let me show you all this, right? When I saw it, I'm like, what?
Oh God.
What jail is
Is this
this?
white woman or ambiguous?
No, she's white.
Okay, what's going on here? 4B Queen.
Not sure why no one understands how I feel. You guys know that my husband turned Republican this term. I don't know why. I threw his ass out of the house. And I have to do more. I don't want to shave my head because that's going to hurt him. I'm going to look ugly. So I'm not doing that. I think I'm going to sleep with his friends. I think that's the only way.
What's this?
I think sleeping with his friends will do. What do you guys think? His liberal friends, of course. Not sure
This
why.
way?
So her husband, I'm guessing, was a Democrat. So the household was secure in her head. And then he switched. He flipped to Republicans. So apparently she kicked him out. And she wants to really make him feel it. The error of his ways, sorry. And she suggested she's gonna sleep with his liberal friends.
What's that going to do for the Constitution?
Her constitution.
I'm just saying. All these guys are actually shaving their head because of Trump as well, innit?
What?
That's what she said. She's not going to shave her head and look ugly. Ain't you seen all the women that's shaving their head? All the white women that's shaving, just going bald in protest of Trump.
No.
You ain't seen it?
I've seen women saying they're going to close their legs.
No, they've been shaving their head. I saw a video clip going around on X somewhere or TikTok or something. They're shaving their head, like long hair like that,
Serious.
shaving it bald.
Wow.
G.I. Jane thing. That's what they're doing in protest. They're vexed. That's why she said she's not going to shave her head. It's going to make herself look ugly, so she's not going to do that. She said, I think I should just chop his bridges. That maths is cold.
She's an animal.
That is not even protest. That maths is cold. Like, what? These guys are shaving their locks, you know? And she just, that's mad. Because that catches on, and then the trend. That catches on is crazy.
Some of them really look nice with bald hairs, man.
If you're Leng, you can do bald head, you know?
Yeah, you
like
can.
pen gal with no hair and short hair is elite. It's top tier. It's just when the average things try it, it don't really pop like that.
Oh, apparently there's a 4B movement.
What's 4B stand for?
Sounds like hair, buff.
Is 4B the texture?
Yeah.
For the hair?
Yeah, I think so. Like how we're free. What are we? 3C? 4C?
I'm 0. I don't know what's man talking about.
4B. Oh, there is a 4B movement.
Just get it up if you can see them shaving their heads, please, Brent.
All right, let's see.
With Trump's win, a lot of creepy dudes have decided they can go mask off and let us know how they really feel about women. And in response, American women are campaigning to follow South Korea's lead by participating in the 4B movement. In case you haven't heard, it's a protest that involves abstaining from marriage, sex, dating, or having children with men until their treatment of women improves. I mean, can we blame young women? When we look at the demographics, the majority of men voted for a person who has said he will roll back our reproductive rights, has said all kinds of disgusting things about women, and has had several allegations of assault against him. And of course, it's not all men, but it's hard to look at the number of dudes who turned out for Donald Trump and not feel like the dating pool just shrunk a lot. Or that you gotta start getting political real fast on a date as if dating doesn't suck already. So hey, pour it out for the nice guys and the allies because y'all can get it. But for the others, it's like if you're showing people that you can be a misogynistic scumbag and still become president, why would we want to bring kids into a world like that? So will the idea catch on here? I don't know. But
Is this
just
a strictly
remember,
American thing? Are people in England doing politics like that?
I'm an ally.
Could you date a guy that you knew voted for Nigel Farage?
You finally figured out what abstinence is.
It's a good question you just asked.
Very good one.
Don't bother asking Manuel.
Because it's yes. Is that economic sound?
Yeah, what's his economic
I
Can I reason with a woman who can reason with Farage? She's gonna probably be white.
No, I'm saying a black woman. No, because there's black men that vote for Trump and Republicans. So there's people of
Don't
color
talk to me
in
about
reform.
Republicans. You keep it
England.
UK-based.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying the reference. There's reform. There's Indian man in the reform thing. It's a person of color. It's a black person, but they're going to reform. You're going to be in the yard because I don't really politicize stuff like that, and I think it's not important. But the thought of living in the yard and my gal is just pumping out reform all day. This is mad. I don't know. I don't know if I can be in there.
So that's a different question.
I know. I had.
It's a
Could you
different
date someone that's
situation.
okay? No, a black woman.
Yeah,
that
stop
voted.
doing that to me.
Okay, cool. A black woman that voted for Nigel Farage. Could you date her? That's it.
I don't think so because I've never seen one. So I've never been able to sit with the idea in my head.
You don't think no black people voted reform?
You asked me about a black woman.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one.
Let's say she looked, you know what I'm saying, prestige, and she just agreed with his policies on the border and stuff like this, and low taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
could.
Why I'm saying yeah is because I can see how she could make an argument to basically tighten up the border without having to mention Farage.
Okay.
That's not it is a Farage like signature move. But I can understand the argument. Give me something else
About Farage.
reprehensive about Farage to make it hard for me.
Ooh. I'm trying to think.
It would need to border on racism.
But is Farage a racist though? That's the question.
Yeah, he is.
Sorry.
But
Put it back. Go. Keep going. Go back.
So again, let's say she says stuff like that. Well, let's just
Stuff
say,
like what, though?
So again, right, with the whole immigration thing, and us wasting money on I'm trying to think of the bad things that Farage said in it. Okay, you know what? Farage basically would kind of blame a lot of things on immigrants. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a lot of his stuff. In terms of the policies, though, the manifesto that the Reform Party had, I don't think a lot of people think it's the worst thing in the world. It's more so like Donald Trump, what he says in normal conversation, who he's quick to blame. You know what I mean? It's always the immigrants. It's almost always the people that don't look like him. The black and browns and that.
Nah. No. Because it's like you're telling me, can I date Kemi?
Oh my God, Christy said, please, they're taking Lin May home.
So okay, could you date a Kim Bang?
No.
No. Okay.
No. And what you moved on to was it's just pumping. Reform propaganda. I don't know if I could do that with pumping labor propaganda.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's a bit too much. Talk to me about UFO propaganda. I'm there. I'll be there. I'll smoke a bud with you. I'll be there, but nah, I don't think even Labour.
Okay, I heard that.
If it was Corbyn now, I can reason with you.
You're a Corbynite.
I was a Corbynite. I wanted him to abolish university fees. And is it Wi-Fi? Was it free Wi-Fi everywhere?
Free broadband and that, yeah.
Yeah. That's
The stuff
social
that,
change,
the stuff
man.
that never happens. Or that
Yeah,
would
we
never
do
happen.
have free Wi-Fi. What are you talking about?
Where's the free Wi-Fi at?
Underground?
So I got to leave my house to go and connect that bloody underground station.
No, you just said there is
You
no
agree with
free
free
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi for the world? Fair
What?
do you, Mr. Capitalist?
I mean, depends on who's paying for it.
Sorry,
Yeah, it depends on who's paying for it.
taxpayers' money, surely.
I mean,
Surely.
If
Who
you're
else?
fine with free healthcare,
I mean, it's a matter of life and death. Wi-Fi isn't really.
to be honest, it's connection. Humanity needs intimacy.
I don't know if I.
This is a
I don't know. I don't know if I'm.
No, I hear it,
I don't know if
hear
I'm
it.
for.
I'm playing.
Well, then again, of course, I'd be for free Wi-Fi because I could use it. But I'm just saying the maths of it is that good for them. Like, I don't know if I'd pump that, if I'd push that.
What's good for you?
What else are you? What you're saying? I mean, it's very
It's getting
easy.
the taxpayer's gonna bear the brunt of it. So we're still gonna be paying for it because where's all that money gonna come from?
Sorry,
free Wi-Fi?
right now our tax is going where? It's going everywhere. It's going in their pockets too.
That's true.
So 100% run me the free Wi-Fi. When Izzy started charging us to go through barriers at train stations, it was an issue, wasn't it? You're like, nope. I never used to pay this before. When it started giving us giving us costings on bags,
That was
Tesco and
crazy.
Sainsbury's,
I still take
you were like,
bags now.
Yeah, I don't pay for bags.
I'm paying for that shit.
I can't do that.
Call the police.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so let's jump into it. Let me just say hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, everybody in the chat. I think there is an update to one of the events that I was fiercely promoting.
Nice.
Like my life depended on it. It has now been cancelled.
Damn it.
Yeah, teaches me a lesson. Let's see where it is. Where's that channel? Event promotions. There we go. All right. So we've got an update to the I Love Live event. It's cancelled and they're trying to make up for it. Sorry, Lauren. Here you go, some confetti.
Why did it get cancelled though, man?
Well, she could jump on Discord and let us know if it is that she's loved to snitch. And it's going to be at the Cube Elephant Family. I remember meeting the Cube boys. Yeah, early days of TNB planning, TNB strategy when we were looking for.
It's the same guys.
Yeah, it's the same guys.
Oh,
yeah, same guys. They had just told us that they had secured funding, like bare money, like all the record labels that come together saying this is going to be a fantastic, venture. We'll put the money up. That's where I asked them, like, how much equity do they own? Like, they kind of shook their heads. So anyway, we were looking at buildings and whatnot, and they were saying that they're probably going to open 2 or 3, and I'm happy to basically see that they're expanding. Yeah, even further.
Dope, man. Big
I think
up,
they've recently opened one in Elephant and Castle, I believe.
Nice.
And I Love Live are holding I think it's free. But it's private, I guess.
Okay. So they got to sign up to get on the list.
Yeah, sign up to get on the list. I saw some pictures. I don't know where I saw the pictures. Here we go. This is the one here. No, it's the same bloody flipping link. Anyway, they're nice pictures of the place. The place looks lovely. Anyway, if you want to attend, it's going to be brilliant. It looks like a couple singers are here. Maybe they're rappers. I don't know. But I'll put the links in the description. Next event is Stronger Than Before, Men's Wellness. And I told you all about that yesterday and the day before and last week. You all know what it's about. Margs, you want to get your nutrition
What
to
is?
spec, your mental health, all that lovely stuff.
Sorry, what is?
It's a retreat,
An opportunity for men to learn about
a
enhancement.
day retreat.
What, a man retreat?
Yes.
Just man in the woods and thing.
No.
This ain't my story. I'm not on all that.
Not going to be in the woods. Not going to be in the
Give
woods.
find me a mixed one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the...
Oh, man. That's not my story, man.
Yo, what type of...
What?
The question is,
Right, go on.
which motives would you attend where it's just men and have no problem with your masculinity in those particular spaces?
Football match?
But you normally have mixed people.
Yeah, but
in
if
the
there
crowd.
was just man there, I wouldn't give a shit.
Name something else that is just going to be for men, because you seem to have a problem.
I just like gal. Why do I want to be in the woods
Let's
for
not
so
go
long?
there.
Just around man?
I know what you like. Let's just
don't- yeah, but I
answer
just- I
my
like-
question.
I just want to see man all the time.
I hear you.
Okay, well,
Let's just answer the question.
what would I be? I've been in situations where there's just men there.
Like,
Now,
nah. But you
I said,
normally,
nah.
You
What do
normally,
you mean?
you normally have an Esther here, so don't go on like that. It's just
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If you just ask for it every day, I'm quitting. I'm gonna quit. I need some gal. I need some
I
gal.
don't know what you're saying because no behavior is the same setup. Even worse because you have more men. And you have starving men that's in that particular room. Men who just came from jail. So don't go on.
I'm playing. I'm playing.
How about you, Emmanuel? Are there any strictly men motives where you don't question your masculinity?
I don't question it ever though. You know what I mean?
But how he was just like, no. I know you never do that anyway. You're fine with being in the woods with men.
Not even said like that.
There must be there's better. What? There's better scenarios.
But it's hard to think upon, right?
What? Where you just do? I've been on a football team before.
Okay. Football team. Okay.
Yeah, been on a football team before. I'm calm. It's not that. I'm not like. It's not that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's because it's a retreat. And on a retreat, there ain't nothing to do. There's no phones. There's no nothing. There's no.
It's not actually a retreat. I've just made that up. But yeah,
Oh.
I hear what you're saying.
So I just want some ambiance. That's all.
Yeah.
Basically, how God wanted it to be in that.
Yeah.
Get me?
Fair.
Say no to segregation.
All right, then let us get into the headlines. Quite a lot to talk about today. Let's get going.
All right, people. So our first headline, this is going to be the subject of our topic of the day. And this is about the Archbishop of Canterbury, who has announced that he will step down from his role following a damning report into a prolific child abuser associated with the Church of England. The review found that Justin Welby, 68 years old, could and should have reported John Smith's abuse of boys and young men to police back in 2013. In a statement, Mr. Welby said that it's very clear that I must take personal and institutional responsibility for his response after he was first told about the abuse. The independent report into the church's handling of John Smith's abuse, published last week, found that from July 2013, the Church of England knew at the highest level about the abuse that took place in the late 1970s and the early 1980s, specifically naming Mr. Welby, right, who was Archbishop of Canterbury. Smith was a prominent barrister as well as a member of the congregation who delivered sermons but was not ordained, and he ran summer camps for young Christians. The report accused him of attacking up to 30 boys at the summer camps during the 1970s and 1980s with a clearly sexually motivated, sadistic regime of beatings. He singled out boys attending the camps before taking them to his home and beating them with a garden cane in his shed. Smythe then relocated in the 1980s to Zimbabwe and later South Africa, where he is alleged to have abused a further 85 to 100 young male children between the ages of 13 and 17. Smythe is believed to have continued his abuse in South Africa until the day he died in Cape Town in 2018, aged 75. Next headline, and failing hospitals will be revealed in league tables and NHS managers sacked if they do not turn things around. This is what the Health Secretary will be telling health leaders at a conference in Liverpool. Wes Streeton is promising a no-holds-barred sweeping review of NHS performance in England. Hospitals can expect to be ranked on indicators such as care delivery and finances, so patients can see whether they are receiving a good service. And turnaround teams will be sent into struggling trusts, while top performers will have more freedom of spending. Meanwhile, senior leaders will be denied pay rises if key improvements are not made. A new pay framework external for chief executives will be published in April, and that will clamp down on poor performance while rewarding success. Wes Streeton will tell the NHS Providers Conference, external, that there will be no more turning a blind eye to failure, something that he has promised before, along with the idea of these league tables. And our last headline, North Korean soldiers have actively joined fighting alongside Russian forces. This is now according to the US State Department. They said this earlier before as well. I think last week we spoke about this. Over 10,000 DPRK, which is the North Korean soldiers, have been sent to eastern Russia, and most of them have moved to the far western Kursk Oblast, where they have begun engaging in combat operations with Russian forces. It's according to Vedant Patel, the State Department spokesperson. It's the first time that the US has said that North Korean troops are actively engaged in fighting against Ukraine. Reports suggest that Vladimir Putin is trying to recover the Kursk region from Ukraine before Donald Trump's inauguration in January, effectively removing it from any potential negotiating table. Ukrainian troops launched an invasion on the area earlier this year and have successfully held part of the Russian territory. US and European news outlets suggested that as many as 50,000 Russian and North Korean troops had massed on the border of the region in the last few days. And that's it for our headlines.
All right, let's get to what you say in Topic of the Day.
All right.
All right, people, welcome to Topic of the Day. Like I said, it's going to be linked to that first headline about the Archbishop of Canterbury. This was basically all over the news, man. I saw it kind of happening in real time where the Telegraph was basically saying that Labour's putting a lot of pressure, or Keir Starmer's putting a lot of pressure on him to resign because of this, the report. And then a couple hours later, the man came out and said, yeah, I'm done. And he resigned. First question.
Sorry, quickly. What's the report?
So basically, it was about this guy called Smythe, right? He was a barrister, but he was also like a leading figure in the Church of England. And this guy was, trigger warning, he was just out there, prolific in his abuse. Beating boys, but in like a sadistic, sexual sort of way, but also abusing them sexually as well. This guy was doing it throughout the 1970s, throughout the 1980s. And apparently in 2013, Justin Welby, who's the Archbishop of Canterbury, knew about this, but he didn't report nothing to the police. So he basically was active in keeping it suppressed. By this time, this man's already moved to Africa anyway, and still doing what he's doing. But he knew about this back then, didn't say anything to the police, and this report's basically come out and uncovered all of that. So he's like, okay, cool, I put my hands up, I should have said something to the police. But yeah, so he stepped down. That's basically what happened. So, there's two things, Firstly, I want to ask, I don't spend too long on this one, but how much responsibility should a leader of a particular organization have on what happens with the people that work under him?
All the responsibility.
All. Mm-hmm. So in for example, on a news platform, right? TDA aside, like something like a GB News. If somebody, has a bad day or they're ranting about a particular thing, and they get reprimanded, and should the CEO or their manager step down?
Not necessarily, but stepping down is your own. That you do it of your own volition. Like, that's your own choice, kind of thing. That's not like.
But you're getting pressure from the powers that be, Because Starmer himself was out there trying to pressure the Archbishop of Canterbury. It's the highest position in Church of England.
I don't think it's right all the time. Like, I don't think it's right. I think it's the way it is. It's like when your football team is doing rubbish and the manager gets sacked, and it's the players.
I was actually gonna.
And everybody knows it's the players. But at the end of the day, you're the one at the head of this. Like yeah, it's them, but like you gotta fix this. You know what I'm trying to say? That means you can't get them together. That means you ain't keeping them in order. And you ain't getting them in shape. So you're not the person for the job, and the responsibility kind of falls on you, even when it doesn't. It's that power of that leadership, innit? Heavy's the head, man. It's the, you know what I'm trying to say? So you are responsible for it. So when the axe falls, it's your head that's on the chopping block, and that's usually how it works.
But is it right that it works that way?
I don't know, but if you're in a management role and your team, if you're in a management role and your team ain't doing their thing, the person above you ain't chatting shit to your team.
Yeah,
they're chatting shit to you.
True.
Can't not be right. You need to get your team in order.
Okay, I hear it. Brent, do you believe the same thing? Because I remember, obviously, like you clarified earlier. Was it yesterday? You said I never said Wenger out, but I didn't want him to leave, right? And you basically were saying because the team's doing crap in it, like he's the one at the helm. He needs to be able to control what's going on to some degree in it. You're putting out the players. So is that how you see it as well?
What's the question? Well, how do I see what?
So, like, do you feel like the leader of any organization should be responsible for what the people under him or her says and does?
Yeah, we are responsible. That's how they see it. So we have to be across everything.
Okay.
So that we know, just in case something happens, it'll be dealt with swiftly.
Okay. So So what does dealt with swiftly mean? So let's just say
I have to come out and basically say it's crazy. It's my fault.
do you? Oh, okay. Okay.
And then obviously the person that I put in charge to get rid of people, they will do what they're doing. But I still have to come because I'm the person in the camera in it.
Okay. So, do you feel like there will ever be a situation where you would hide something from the public? Let's just say there was a 5%
Yeah,
chance.
it's crazy you asked me this question knowing full well what we're talking about here. I'm not hiding that.
No, remember, obviously you're not a archbishop, are you? You're not a church guy, innit? I mean, you're a church guy, but you're not a church guy. So that aside, I'm talking about in a normal organization. So you're the head of a broadcasting company, and
Tell
somebody
me what the incident is.
just
because-
I can't figure something. Just something that you feel like if people knew about, it's gonna cause a lot.
If you're
of
covering
issue
up
for your
something
organisation.
illegal,
If you're
covering up something illegal and you find out and people find out, then that's on you. Like you're complicit. You're equally complicit.
I can't put a blanket over the question you're asking me.
Okay,
That's why I
cool.
said you need to be specific. Because
Okay.
if I'm covering up like rampant grape and that,
Yeah, no,
right,
that's crazy.
as opposed to somebody's just siphoned money.
No, but you know what? Morally, it doesn't matter. Morally will help you be able to make the decision, innit? Depending on what crime it is. But factually, if you cover up a crime for someone and you think that you're complicit, you're in.
He hasn't stipulated whether it's a crime or not.
Ah, okay.
That's why I asked him, what is it?
Okay, cool.
Okay, let's go to the money thing. So let's just say this person works for you, but also works for, I don't know, Channel 4. And you find out that they've been siphoning money from Channel 4 and doing certain things. You double check your books and realize they were doing it to you.
Yeah,
Just
I'm getting
tell me.
ahead of it.
Okay, what does that look like?
Getting ahead of it before the news drop it.
No, Channel 4 don't know though.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Okay,
whistleblowing.
I'll be the whistleblower. Hey,
Serious?
to let everybody else know in the future,
That
don't
what?
try this with me.
Like, he still works with you.
You're gonna set me up. He still works with me. Yeah, good, be better. So I'll be the one to deliver the news.
Because if he did find out and didn't say nothing and then it all came on top, then he's.
Yeah, I'm taking the hit.
So you wouldn't stand in your position and say, look, this guy's a good worker for me. He ain't stolen from me. I still need him in the organization. He just did it
After
to
he's
them.
stolen from Channel 4.
Yeah. So he's stolen from Channel 4.
But he represents me. And they're gonna come for me.
Are they going to come for you or come for
He
him?
works for me.
He works for both of you.
I believe there's some legal tether,
Okay.
some sort of sinews to me and my company.
Yeah.
So 100% he needs to be rooted out.
Okay. I hear it. That's good. I mean, all right, cool.
Yeah, I still have in the back of my mind where you might take this.
The way the power structures and stuff and leadership and the way it works and the responsibility that you put on people, I think it's just all fair. It goes hand in hand, and there will be times when it's maybe unfair, if that makes sense. But because it's that way across the board, that's how it balances out. Do you get what I'm saying?
Heavy's the head. Talk to him because
Yeah.
he's dealing with stuff all the time. By the way, I'm not specifically saying that.
Yeah, of course,
all
of
the
course.
time. Yeah, because he's done gaga over there. The kind of stuff he does behind the scenes that nobody knows about. It's crazy. Heavy's the head, man.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, are the decisions made that much tougher, though, if that person's an amazing worker, though? So, yes, it's a crime or whatever, or it's something that if it comes out, it's bad. It looks bad for your organization, but they are amazing.
Yeah, definitely tougher. But you got to know what you're doing, though. Because, again, it's a decision that you make for yourself. And you got to weigh it up against whatever, you know what I'm trying to say, like wherever the jeopardy is, if the juice is worth the squeeze, how you feel about that person. But you got to understand that being that leader, what's going to happen if shit hits the fan?
Yeah.
And there's no point moaning about it. There's no point moaning about it. If shit hits the fan, the buck stops with me. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way it's supposed to be. You have to put them kind of things in place to get the best out of the people that's in them positions. You have to hold them accountable, keep them true in it. So,
Do you have a different take on this, Emmanuel?
I wouldn't say I necessarily have a different take. I kind of maybe agree with that last thing that Mark was saying. I think it depends on the situation and the person. I think if the person, if I did my assessment and there was no leaks, no leaks, right? And the person was that good a worker and everything, and it's something I could forgive, cool. And going forward, we can work on this. Then I think I'll be willing to give it another try.
okay, cool. But when shit came on top and you're not looking at the person, you're not blaming the person, you're looking in the mirror, right?
Be mindful, 100%.
And then you're going to step down.
Yeah.
What?
I won't step down.
Not me.
I won't step down.
Not
No,
me.
but it's my organisation, so I'm not stepping down.
Sorry. Yeah.
We said there's no stepping down.
Me.
In what world do you step down? What has to happen for you to step down? For something as well, for something that you didn't do, remember, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
For something that you didn't do, in what world do you step down? Do you say, you know what?
Fair enough. It's when my actions or perception is going to affect what has been built. 100% now. I'll remove myself. But I'll make sure I still am getting what I need to get.
Give me a dividend. Give me a dividend, innit?
Yeah.
Make sure I get my dividend.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Let's go to the crux of what I want us to discuss.
So you basically said that you would basically hide.
He'll cover for them.
But it depends on who it is. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it depends on who it is. And if that person is...
But this person that you value like that, and you're weighing them up against this empire that you've been building, that you value like that, you're going to risk it.
Do you know what it is? Because a lot of the time, I sometimes think about what a person's done for the organization for me, right? If that person, for example, in the past has put their life on the line in certain situations, and if not for that person, like, I'm done at it, or this organization is done at it, that will always play a part.
So loyalty means a lot to you.
Fuck that.
100%.
My plan's foolproof. My plan needs to be foolproof. I'm not leaving it to chance.
Yeah,
so
of
if
course.
there's a chance, like, it don't matter what you've done
Yeah.
for me and how great you are and
Yeah.
whatnot. If there's a chance, the slightest chance,
Yeah.
your actions is gonna crumble my whole thing. You're done. You're done.
I hear it, though.
Because who am I gonna moan at afterwards? I can only
Yeah.
be mad at myself.
Yeah.
My plan has to be foolproof. I'm not leaving it to chance. You're cooked.
What does foolproof look like, though?
Unfallible.
And that would be obviously your estimation of things, isn't it?
Yeah, you gotta go, man. I'm sorry, because if this, like, yeah, I looked at the due no one knows the leaks are there, but there's a chance. And if it comes out, I'm screwed, and I ain't got no thinking it's me, it's my actions. You know what, brother?
Because obviously the CIA and the government in this country cover up bare stuff
Yeah.
because they're thinking, yeah, don't worry, we can pattern what we need to pattern, we can silence who we need to silence, we can pay off who we need to pay off, and that. And obviously, we're in the era of Diddy. So he's been doing that for years, right? So you're saying that you'd be like Diddy.
No. In no way, shape, form, or fashion will I be like Diddy.
The way he walks you right to that.
Impossible. Not at all, man. But you know what? I'm kind of thinking back to some like people who've been in the Black liberation movement and situations where it's been like this, right? Where there'll be disagreements or whatever. Like, for example, when I look at in the nation, some of the conflicts or friction between the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X, but then also between Mr. Farrakhan and Khalid Abdul Muhammad, like people who was like this, you know what I'm saying? And maybe one person did something, not maybe, we're talking about fact now. Person did something, some level of insubordination, and it fractured them. You know what I'm saying? But because sometimes you think as somebody who's not the leader of the organization, you think about what they were prepared to do. Like I remember, for example, listening to Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad talking about the things he was prepared to do for the minister when the nation was being resurrected, didn't it? Why is smiling? What happened?
Mark's having Teagle flashbacks.
Jesus Christ.
And what did Mark say?
Yeah, you're a blitz. Because you're a...
This guy.
Sorry. Abdul Muhammad.
Yeah. Guys, you have to look at the chat, man. But yeah, basically, I was just looking at that because just thinking about that scenario, Khalid Abdul Muhammad felt hard done by it because he felt like I put my life on the line for the minister and for the nation. You know what I'm saying? And I've gone out there and I've said certain things. Yes, you've criticized me, reprimanded me, suspended me, but now there's this chasm between me and you, and it never got healed. Obviously, there were people that were jealous of their relationship and they kind of stood in the way and basically made that divide further. But in my head, you just think in a beautiful scenario, you would have welcomed Khalid Abdul Muhammad back, innit? You would have welcomed Malcolm X back. And so in my head, I'm kind of applying that here, innit? Where somebody's gone out, right? Prior to that day, where they were doing where they did the thing that was a crime, right, to you, they was your number two, you know what I'm saying? And they're prepared to do anything for you. They've showed it to you as well, and you don't doubt this. But because of this particular thing, it's like, yes, you've come out there and spoken against it, but there's been no way to heal the situation. They're now cast into the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm thinking of where it doesn't really seem nice, innit? You know what I mean?
It's not nice. Well, I don't know, man.
Are you trying to get us into the mindset of this Archbishop?
No.
Because I'm waiting for you to link this.
No.
I'm waiting for you to link
There's
this.
no link.
Yeah,
There's no
there's
link.
nothing here. Absolutely, unequivocally, guys, nothing here. Let's get back to this. But I'm just basically talking about just organization, being leaders, and relationship with people under you, right? Okay. Now, the main thing I wanted to talk about with regards to this, though, is with this situation, yeah, the Archbishop chose to hide this information. He chose not to go to the police. But I want to ask you guys, yeah, we know, if you don't know, I'm about to tell you, religious organizations, every religion, every...
I thought he did.
What happened? He did hide it.
In 2017, he said something like, I thought something would come of it, but it didn't come of it. But he didn't push.
Is that what he said?
I watched
Well,
a few
Okay.
videos this morning on Channel 4. They were the ones who kind of broke this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was quoted in like a paper saying that when it is, I told the police about it, I expected there to be something from it. But there wasn't. So he kind of palmed it off to the police. But now you're saying that he didn't go to the police.
Yeah. Hold on a sec. So this is what he said. He said, having sought the gracious permission of His Majesty the King, I've decided to resign as Archbishop of Canterbury. When I was informed in 2013 and told that police had been notified, I believed wrongly that an appropriate resolution would follow.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess he didn't do it, but he thought
Yeah.
somebody did in it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he didn't follow up pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, and he said, it's very clear that I must take personal and institutional responsibility for the long and re-traumatizing period between 2013 and 2024. But that aside, I kind of want to spin off to something else. With regards to religion, there's certain things that's just kept a secret from the masses. I think that's a fact, right? Because I feel like, to some degree, it's almost a duty of people in those positions to keep certain things from the masses.
Well, what's their fascination with messing with young boys? Like, are they taught this stuff?
It's a rite of passage, isn't it?
I wouldn't.
It
say
can't be a
that.
coincidence. It's like, that's the field. In that field, there must
Yeah.
be more there must be more paedophiles in that profession unknown as well than any. Like, and it's something that's happened in life, like you said, different religions, very, very rare. It can't be a coincidence. I'm saying, like, is there like some secret underworld? Is there teachings going on? I don't understand what's happening because what draws you to that? Are you that way inclined and it draws you to the religion, or do you get into religion and then turn like that? Like, what the hell's going on here?
Boy, I mean, not boy. I mean, you know. Sorry. You know, it is. I think because the opposite sex is not there. So I think these people who, like you said, who've gone into the religion, maybe to abstain from certain things, to maybe fix themselves, they may have a certain temptation around them all the time.
Sorry, I'm cognizant that you guys keep saying going into the religion. Is that what you mean to say?
I'm saying like holy men.
What do you say? What religion
Preachers.
are you talking about?
Huh?
What religion are you talking about?
Well, the top of the list is Catholics.
All right,
They're
so
top,
you're
top.
saying
Yeah,
that...
the Catholic men are top, innit? I'm nearly sure they are. I'm sure they're top of the list. Google the list.
But this is Church of England.
We can get the list. Who's in there?
But this is but this is Church of England though. You know what I mean? So the Catholics,
Church of England up there.
yeah,
they're up there.
Catholics didn't do anything.
There might be
today.
two.
To be fair, yeah, no, go. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, you didn't correct him when he said when they go into the religion.
No,
Because it
sorry, but I was
sounds-
saying, okay,
Yeah.
so I need to find a way to explain myself better. I don't know what but you knew what I was trying to say, no?
It's not about me knowing what you're trying to say. I mean, you said it a couple times and you didn't say anything. So
Yeah, 'cause I just knew what you meant. But yeah,
it's,
okay, cool.
it's what the hell?
Yeah. But it happens all the time. It's just like yesterday when you said something, I knew what you meant. You know what I mean? But obviously, I know people are listening.
What does that mean? Say it. What did I say yesterday?
I can't remember what that is.
What is it? Why?
No,
Why
but I
you
remember.
know? I know what it was just said.
Yeah, I know, but I'm basically trying to say I don't always correct people because I know what they mean. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has a slip of the tongue.
At what point?
Yeah, so when I was talking about the men that go into like preaching and pastors, the holy men that go to lead their religions or whatever, I wasn't talking about a specific religion as well. I was just talking about all of
Oh, you're
them.
talking about all religions.
I just feel like there's a lot of the people that do that stuff. It's a lot of the religious men leaders and stuff in it. Like I know it's probably I'm assuming it's across the board, man. So I don't know. So
Do you assume it's across the board
Yeah,
with Islam too?
yeah. Even just yesterday, was it just yesterday or 2 days ago? I saw a clip
As in grooming young men?
abusing.
Sexually abusing?
Yeah,
Ah, okay. I didn't know about this. I didn't know it was...
it's a human
I
thing, innit?
know more about it being
yeah.
in
It's
the...
definitely more prolific there. At least what comes out anyway.
This is news to me.
But I
Go on.
think it's a human thing. I don't think it's a Catholic or a Christian thing. It's just a human thing. I think when men or people who are just sick-minded men and women are alone with certain people, I think the brain just does some crazy things, and I don't know, because these people are by themselves for like the rest of their lives, isn't it? They make a vow to be like, okay, cool, I'm just by myself, and I think a lot of these people.
I don't think
have-
these
Is this really a stereotype that... Because I'm learning about this right now. I didn't know in Islam it was like that, prolific like
I don't know. I just
I
think
didn't
that,
say it as prolific because remember it's based on the information that comes out.
No, but we've heard a lot about the flipping Roman Catholic
That's what
Church.
I'm
Yeah, but they got the
Church
best- they
England.
got
And we've
good-
known about them vicars and them touching them boys. That's the thing.
That's because they got the best PR in it. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So their things promoted, but I'm of the mind. I don't even know if you heard it yet. The way I spree it and I assume it. Yeah. I just look at them when I hear stories. Even in other religions, it might not be as prominent as Church of England and Catholic and all that. But it's just always the religious men, the leaders and the men. I was like, I'm not looking at like one religion. That's why I said it like that when they get into religion, when they decide to get into religion. I'm talking across the board. I'm talking across the board. These religious men, these leaders that go into these places and have all this power and control, and they do funny things. And it's not just boys as well. Some of them be doing like
girls.
taking advantage of women and gal and all that. Like, this is what they do.
Maybe I take your point, but maybe we should just focus on the specificity of this case because it's rampant in this particular faith and in this particular space in this faith, right?
Yeah.
So I would prefer if it is we just focus.
Okay, let's stick to the Church of England. So yeah, I basically was trying to make this about other things though, and basically just talk about the role of secrecy in any of these religious organizations.
Yeah.
And so in my head, I'm saying there are certain things, sexual abuse aside, you can include it, but not only
Name other
that.
things then, because if that's a
Okay.
big thing,
But
right?
that's it.
Okay.
Sorry to cut you, yeah, because all communities, in a sense, and industries have that. And not
Have
necess-
what?
Secrets.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily nefarious or to say this is all about kids or whatever. It could be different stuff. These sorts of things have happened from the beginning of time when they come out. All industries, the music industry, the film industry. Like there's bankers that know things about, like people within that industry, in the podcast industry. This thing, I know things about people that I'm not just going to put out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know. Does that make me complicit? I don't know. But this is what happened. Like people, it just...
All right, so we're here right now where you're grouping in secrets with like immoral, criminal behavior, right? You're putting this under umbrella of there are organizations that keep secrets.
Okay.
That's what you're doing right now.
Yeah, but it could be bad. Maybe not the same as fiddling with kids, but still...
So this is where you want us to basically go
So
down, right? You said every organization does this. This is where you started.
All right, like I was saying, I wanted to spin off.
Because TMB is not going to be involved in this.
No.
TMB
I
don't
like
keep
everybody
secrets.
else. Put everybody else under the umbrella, but I'm going to be saying
TMB are snitches.
TMB are snitches.
Clip that.
Protect it.
Go. Continue.
No, it's more so about religious organizations. And that there's a need to remain silent on certain things. And basically what I'm asking is it because they're obviously trying to protect the faith of certain people? That's basically where I'm going with this. So yes, that's why I said to you, sexual abuse aside, it can be about that, but also there's other things.
I'm thinking, what other things are they quiet on? What they truly believe about the LGBTQ? Is that kind of secret you're talking about?
It could be that.
I need to hear the examples.
It could be that. It could also be about what the belief system, for example, the pastor or the bishop believes about the real about the scriptures, for example. So, for example, if I knew that this will shake the faith of my congregation, people who depend on me, depend on this church, and they have done so for 1,000 years, and I said to them, like, based on the reals, not the real, but based on other scriptures that we've got in the Vatican, if you guys knew that actually this wasn't a miracle like you think it was actually this will shake your faith, I'm going to keep this a secret.
All right, now you mentioned Vatican.
Yeah.
Is that connected to the Church of England?
No, that's Catholic, isn't it? So
I know, but you just don't say it's same because it's different over there.
Yeah, but I'm taking away the whole the sexual abuse thing. I'm just talking about organizations.
Talk about sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Right now, the Vatican apparently in the archives have a lot of religious and historical artifacts.
Yes.
Even apparently UFOs and stuff. Right? Is that what you're talking about?
Okay, yeah.
Those types of secrets.
Yeah, let's go there.
Like also, the whole Dan Brown books.
Exactly.
Where they
like
talked
that.
about the
About
esoteric
Christ.
type
Yes.
information, the data of all this kind of stuff where it unlocks, human
all of that stuff.
skill sets and like that.
And how, let's just say Garden of Eden, none of them people actually believe really existed. It's just a mythological thing. But if they were actually to speak about this to the public, or
the fact that Jesus' bloodline's here now, innit?
There you go. Stuff like this.
Remember Jesus chopped Mary Magdalene? She had the baby. You know that one.
As in the theory?
I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah, I've
the
heard
Dan
of it.
Brown.
Yeah. I've heard of it.
Jesus chopped Mary, she had the baby, so the bloodline's right today.
Exactly.
Descendants of Jesus are out here now.
So let's just say there was proof of that in the
and in
Bible.
positions of power.
Yeah.
But let's just say there was proof of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like-
And they're hiding it.
And they're hiding it.
Okay.
But I know, man. Let me not do that, sorry. Ignore me.
Well, it's Wednesday.
Nah, yeah, but still, God ain't gonna, it don't matter what day it is.
He knows your heart. He knows you've already said it.
He knows I said it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that. Let him just get it out, innit? Let him just get it out.
But yeah, you know what I mean? That sort of situation. Like basically, obviously, like I said, it started with the sexual stuff here. And the reason why I'm starting is because we've seen plenty of times where certain organizations, let's just look at something like Bishop Eddie Long, right? Mm-hmm. When he had those, the situation with the men that came out and said that he had been abusing them, grooming them, all that sort of stuff. Once that came out, the whole church was done. It was done. People left. People did whatever they had to do, moved to different churches. Maybe some lost their faith and things of that nature. we've seen this time and time again because human beings like to obviously kind of hold certain people on a pedestal, right? See them in a particular light. And so my question is basically, do you feel like this is why people keep these secrets? And do you feel like it's necessary in some cases to keep these secrets because of the faith of the congregation? Could you be doing people a big disservice by letting them know the full truth about what happens behind the doors in religious institutions?
I've been reading the chat and laughing to myself. I didn't even hear the question.
You know, the Spotify listeners, like, they don't get
that's in the chat,
what
innit?
happens in the chat. You know what I'm saying? You guys miss so much, you know?
Yeah, you don't put
So
up,
much.
man.
Yeah, it's the heartbeat of TDA, man. It's corrupt folk. You need to run that by us again.
Yes. So certain churches, look at Eddie Long's church, right?
Yes.
When the whole allegations came out, and even look at TD Jakes now. If it comes out now, for example, that this man's involved in some Diddy behavior, yeah, that church will be done. It may go down to his daughter to run it, but we know it's done. They're not there for the daughter, they're there for TD Jakes, right? So people will lose their faith potentially. Oh, how did this man of God do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like the people who would be, I guess, on the board behind the board away from TD Jakes, right, would say to themselves, you know what? Let's keep this a secret. If we can contain this information, let's get rid of him. Let's just say he's ill, he's gone on vacation, whatever, long term, so that we can keep the church running. Yes, you lot may say yes, it's to get people's tithes, but at the same time, it could be to protect the faith of the congregation, so that people don't go away from you know, from God.
That'd be stupid. And then again, if it comes out with the TD Jakes thing, that comes out, and then you find out that the people then behind them on the board knew the whole time, was covering it up, don't you think they should step down too?
Yeah, yeah. But at the same
And
time,
that's my whole point. That's why you have to be ruthless with it, because it's like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Because that's the decision that you make. If you look at TD Jakes and say, we're going to keep from the congregation because you're this, you're that, and then you go forward and it blows up, the buck's got to stop back with you. Because you should have been ruthless, like what I said in the beginning, and told him, you know what? This is done. And he's saying, no, but no, and ready to yes, but if it comes out, all this is crumbled.
yeah.
You got to go, boy.
So TD Jakes goes, you make, and let's not use TD Jakes in it, because obviously he hasn't done anything yet. We don't know in it. Huh? I think I heard.
Is that what you were planning to say?
No,
Oh, okay.
I just thought about it because you didn't want to. You done the right thing. Because obviously it would have fell on you. You say, you know what? On the top of the...
No, I've kicked it down the road. I'm still looking after. Yeah. I told him that. Yeah. So I didn't, and that was a different scenario.
So whose side was you on, really?
I'm still on his side, the Lord's side.
Exactly.
Yes, but it's anyway.
Anyway, exactly. So the point I'm trying to make is, in that same scenario you're saying, you would
TD Jakes
expose.
scenario.
Yeah, but let's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
use TD Jakes in it, because obviously nothing's happened to him in it. Okay, allegedly, right? You come out, you get rid of TD Jakes, you make an announcement to the congregation. That next Sunday, you know, only a third or quarter of the people will show up. So people who are relying on this church, relying on the message, relying on all these sort of things, their faith will crumble. They will go back into the world, certain things like this, right? Is it worth it? That's basically what I'm trying to say. And I feel like I'm asking, is this what goes through the minds of these people who are at the helm of these religious organizations? Because a lot of the time we may just see it as, they're just trying to cover up the horrible stuff that's happening behind the scenes.
I say they don't want people to lose their faith.
Yeah.
No, I see Black Rob said, how can you lose your faith because another person is a nonce, yeah? But if I'm in a religion and then like across the board, all the higher ups and all the leaders of the men all the leaders and people in power position are just all perverts and nonsense and things, I'm questioning religion.
Exactly.
I'm questioning everything. What the hell are we doing here? These are my people, and all of them do it. So what's the real? Maybe I'm not even privy to the real teachings. Maybe this is, you know what I'm saying? Maybe this is part of the religion. This is mad. Like,
Critical thinking in the bin. Personal relationship with Christ is AWOL. That's what it tells me.
nah, man, because I'm saying, what are they doing there? Like, what am I signed up to? What have I signed up to? What is this?
Is that a fair argument?
You can question it. I'm saying it's a question.
Wait. I like that. Is that a fair argument? If everybody who's been teaching you the way turn out to be a way, would you question what they've basically taught you?
Yes.
Yeah, I could understand. I could understand it. Me personally, I feel like in a lot of situations I know how to compartmentalize because I feel like a human being is a human being. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect them to be Christ, but I can understand why the average person or most people would say, "Wait a minute, you didn't even believe what you was telling me. You didn't, and you expected me to live this particular way. Like, what are we doing there? All of this must be fake because you're telling me to live my life in a particular way. You're chastising me when I get it wrong, but all the while, this is what you're doing."
Yeah, man, it's not about my personal relationship with God. Man ain't idolizing no pastors. It's just looking at all these people. Like, this is like I'm saying, there's like a community of them. This is what they're doing, and this is what I'm part of, essentially. I'm saying I would question bare things. Like, I would question a lot of things. Like, what's going on here? How did we end up here? What the hell is happening? What am I part of? What is going on here?
But
this is disgusting.
Saying that,
birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah, I hear you, but they've never shown you what they've done behind closed doors. They've always told you this is what you're supposed to be doing. And you'd frame them based on what they've been telling you.
If it was a secret cult and it was a plan and we're all being duped and all of them were that way inclined and they all knew, but they's preaching to the masses, pretending how they are, and I found that out, I'm done. You know what I'm trying to say? So it wouldn't matter. Imagine it was a...
That just means you wanted out. You wanted a reason. You just wanted a reason.
No, because then when you pull back the curtain and the veil's pulled back, it's like, this is what you're a part of. This is what you didn't know. Ignorance is bliss, but knowledge is power. Now you know that the thing that the religion that you're a part of, this is what it actually represents. When you go to the top end of it, this is what it really is. Regardless of whether you are like that or not, this is what it is, and this is the house that you want to stay in. No.
What I'm saying is, let's just use pen game as an example.
All right. Okay, go on.
They need to basically do as you say as opposed to as you do, right?
Okay.
And you could be doing whatever you want to do. It's your life after you clock off. Yeah. When they're there, though, you follow my rules. These are the principles of this establishment. That's what you need to follow. If they find out you're not following it, how are they going to turn around and be like, oh my goodness, what, you're not even doing the same thing that you're telling us to do? The rules of this establishment is this. It might be an absolutely poor example I've just given you. It might be absolutely poor. What I'm saying is, this Bible that you've been taught by these elders, they're basically detailing or giving more understanding to who Jesus or God was. Do you understand? In these scriptures. In your mind, they are living by that because that's what they're teaching you, right? You don't know what they're doing behind the scenes.
No.
And out of 10 of them, 2 of them might not be doing what the other 8 are doing, right? The 2 of them might be living the way in which they're teaching. Why should you, because you found out the other 8 were fiddling, why should you now be like, well, everything that you've taught us is corrupted?
Because the people that whoever's in the top of the churches know when they're covering up, everybody's complicit. It's all above the board. I'm tarring everybody with the same brush. And obviously, in this hypothetical that we're talking about, it's not real. I'm saying that it's not a individual error, because obviously humans are humans, innit? So it's not like a one man that's decided to do what he's doing. I'm saying, as a collective, this is what they're on. You know what
as a collective, they're saying what they're practicing will lead them to hell. That's what they're telling you. So they've already told you, once you find out what they've been doing, you know where they're going. It's on you to basically, do you believe what they've been reading from? That's the biggest thing. You were never supposed to basically just be guided by man. Who are you supposed to be guided by?
The Lord and the book.
But the Holy Spirit is supposed to guide you.
No, but you're saying the Holy Spirit is meant to guide you. But in Catholicism, right, the Pope represents Christ.
I have my own views about
no,
Catholicism.
But they're
my
pretty much
own views about that.
But they're pretty much the single biggest.
That's nice.
Denomination in the world.
Great.
You know what I mean? So, what? Do you want to share your views on?
No.
Okay, cool.
You ain't telling me nothing.
But I can understand why this pretty much happens, man.
What are you saying? You understand what happens?
Why they hide certain things from the public? it's similar way to why the government hides certain things about aliens from the public.
Again, I say you've created this umbrella and you're just throwing every single thing under it.
Yeah.
Do you understand why they hide the noncery?
Yes. It's disgusting.
So you've justified it.
It's not justified. It's disgusting.
I just thought that was a good line.
I think all these people need to be.
He's right, because it will shake the religion to the
100%
core.
it will.
If they released all the information about all the noncery, because remember, we're only getting the drips and drabs of it.
Yes.
If they said total transparency, this is every case we got, this is every preacher we know, this is every I could be done with religion. So, and that other people are like that as well. Will shake religion to its core. It might break Christianity, or it might break it.
Yeah.
Let's stay for a while. I like what you just said. Both of you all have just agreed that the reason as to why it is they hide it is because it will draw people away from the church.
Yeah, it will.
Yes.
Not away from Christ.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah. Same thing. Because the church is that
All right.
is the body coming together.
Good, lovely. And I think I understand both of your positions. So if y'all were in the position where you can make those decisions, do you hide it too? This is the most important question. Because I understand I'm here with y'all.
I think it does depend on what it is. But in some situations, yes, I would.
All right. How about you? Would you hide the noncery?
What?
That's what he just said. He said he would hide the nonsense
No, I didn't.
from the public.
This guy's amazing.
Wait. Let me run that back again
All
because
right.
I don't want to
said
put words in your mouth.
All right.
Right?
That's what you attempted to do.
I
Let me say it again.
Okay.
Certain things, yeah.
Remember the
because
question I asked you? What was the question I asked you?
You said, would I hide certain things
From?
from the public?
And I said, would you hide the noncery?
You didn't ask me would I hide noncery. You said that after when you asked Brent.
Wait a
Marks.
minute.
You did ask me about noncery.
Wait a minute. Let's go back a bit.
Let's go it.
You said you understand why they've hidden the noncery.
Yes.
Because it will draw people away from the church.
Yes.
I said, and Christ, you said it's the same thing.
Yes.
And then I said, most important question for me, because I'm here with you now, is in the position, if you were in that same position where those decisions were up to you, would you hide it too? What did you say?
Yeah, but this is the thing.
What did you say?
Wait a minute.
Look, what did you say?
He said yes.
All right, and then I moved to you. And then I said, would you hide the noncery?
And I said,
There you
Then
go.
I said, wait.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
It's the critical thinking.
It's different.
It's the critical thinking.
You never said to me directly, would I hide the noncery?
Yo, this is bogus.
Because you have to answer, there's certain things that there's certain crimes, I'll be straight, that people need to be shot for. You know what I'm saying? So we can expose those people. But there's certain things about belief systems that I believe if people really knew, they wouldn't be able to handle truth. And I don't see the benefit in them knowing. I really don't.
So, just so I'm clear, what do you think where he stands with the question I've asked him? What do you think he's said? Where's his position? Just in your mind.
Well, before the pushback, I thought he was said that obviously in the position of power to protect the religion,
Yes.
he would hide some stuff.
What stuff?
Exactly, some stuff.
No, but you mixed up all stuff. So
Exactly.
No, but you still said yes.
What the
Some
hell?
stuff.
Wait.
Not to nonsense.
Wait. Y'all are so deceptive.
No, you are.
And disingenuous and dishonest.
No,
Remember how I led y'all there.
I'm on
led
your
y'all-
side.
No, let's just roll it back a bit. Remember how I led y'all there.
Okay.
I said about the Christ and the church. You said it was the same.
Yeah.
Church and the Christ is the same.
That will affect them, yeah.
Yeah. And I said, if it is that, you said you understand as to why is it hiding noncery, because it will lead people away from the church.
Yeah.
The noncery.
He did say it.
I specifically said it.
Yeah, you did. As I said, you throw
Don't
everything
try
in
to
there.
wiggle out of this now.
I'm not saying it's not me. That's not me.
So where do you think he stood based on what? Good morning, Ed, and good morning, Black Rob.
Ruthless leader, innit?
Morning.
Talk to us.
guys.
How are you?
Yeah, the stuff that you guys are saying, I think the biggest issue with, a lot of times with religion, I found this out with a lot of people that are religious, regardless of what religion they are. They subscribe to their religion and they follow it, but they don't do their own education on it. So then when stuff is going awry, they don't even know how to respond to it. And then they put too much emphasis on their religious leader as like their compass. So when that person does wrong, then it shatters their worldview. But in reality, you're worshiping that person if that person can break or build your faith. Because like even in the Bible, it was saying how like I remember there was a bit about how like Jesus used to be on the case of the Pharisees, and the Pharisees were basically like the political class of religious Jewish leaders. They were like the popes of the day, innit? Like they were the top religion, they knew all the passages, knew all the doctrine, but they weren't living like it. And Jesus was like to them, you might like going to heaven because you know all the scriptures, you wear all the right clothes, you follow all the rules, but like your life, and your heart, the way you behave, actually you don't follow the rules. The way you behave and the way you live is nothing like what I taught. So it's like and so basically it's like if you follow the religion and then you also read and educate yourself on the stuff, when stuff like that happens, like when the Pope is, well, maybe not Pope, but when like a religious leader is doing something mad, you could be like, well, they're not living right, they're not really doing right, but I know what you should be doing, not, oh, my worldview is shattered because this person did wrong because I hold him in such high esteem. I think that's the problem with the cult of personality. You hold someone in such high esteem and then your worldview is shattered. But on the stuff about Catholic priest, though, what I do agree with Margs on is that when it's institutional, if there's like a bad egg in your church and then you get rid of them or whatever. But if there's like an institutional situation where you can see that there's a system in place to move nonsense around to different parishes and all that stuff, then you have to take a wide look at the whole institution at play. And like Brent, I've got a lot of views on Catholicism because like if in Christianity it says you shouldn't worship man as idols, and then they're worshiping like the rosaries and worshiping Mary and then the Pope. Why is man appointing another man as the holiest man on earth? All this type of stuff. All these stuff are heresy in the Bible. So there's scriptural contradictions that are at play within the religion that seems to be Christian. So it's like anyway, but and then these things, if people read themselves, then they would actually self-reflect and be like, whoa, I'm reading this and then we're doing this, how can that be? There's a contradiction. But because people don't read it and they just get spoon-fed what they need to be spoon-fed by their religious leader, they will give you what they want to give you. But if you do your own reading, you will realize the hypocrisies and some of the stuff, and then you can make your own decision as to what denomination you want to be or whatever.
I hear it. But everything that you're saying, yeah, like, does that apply to the masses, the majority of any denomination or religion?
Yeah, everyone has to have your relationship should be one-on-one. You should also have your relationship with your God. All the Abrahamic religions all speak about having your own direct line to God or whatever, whether that's through reading the books and through praying. If you're doing those things, then you should be able to identify when things ain't going right.
I hear what you're saying, but what I mean is, like, what you're saying is what should be the case. I'm talking about what is the case in a real practical sense, right?
Yeah.
What is really the situation? Because I feel as though the leaders, right, those who are prepared to hide these secrets, they know in a real sense that's not what the majority of people are doing at all. And so if we are to tell them the truth and let them know what's going on behind the curtain, like, everything would be destroyed. Everything.
No, the thing is, I do agree with you on the fact that, like, if let's say there was a bad egg in the church and they were doing something mad, the problem is they're not prosecuting, or whatever word you want to use, that person. They're just kind of like, oh, just go away, don't. But then that person can do it again. You need to like, if let's say there was like a abuser in the church or something, and then the leadership found out who that person is, and then they reported them to the police, got them arrested, but then maybe didn't tell the congregation. I could kind of actually no, because what if that person comes out of jail and then tries to rejoin and no one knows? You need to inform the people. That's why there's a registers list, a sex offenders list, and all that stuff, because the public need to know about this stuff. Because what if that person, what if the leader got the person put in jail and they went to jail for 10 years, whatever, came back out and then tried to re-engage with some of the people in the church, and the people didn't know where that person went? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So information is key. They need to know. So I actually, at first I was going to agree with you, but now saying it out loud, nah, you have to tell everyone.
Okay. I hear you. Is that Ed's on the phone as well, isn't it?
He was.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
Is him gone?
Yeah.
I mean, I hear what you guys are saying, but I think it's just the reality about something. Okay, Blackrock, you still there, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take this away from, abuse and stuff like this. Let's look at, for example, the validity of certain scriptures. Let's just talk about some of the miracles or whatever it may be. Let's just say the organization was privy to certain things, right? That they believed meant that the word of God, be it the Quran, be it the Bible, the Torah, whatever it may be, wasn't as accurate as we've been pushing for the last 1,000 years. Do you feel like that's something that people should know about?
If that was the truth, then yeah. But I don't think there's any because we're speculating. We're doing, what's it called? Do you know, like Is it Schrodinger's box or where we're like we're speculating on information that has not been shared, so we're assuming so what's in the Vatican we do not know, but they're not sharing it, so therefore we can't speculate on what it is and assume it's going to be world changing unless it's been shared. So right now, I don't believe anything there is going to be anything of consequence, just because if you look at the Bible and the Torah, there's so many, there's more reference points to like Jesus and all that type of stuff than there is of Julius Caesar, and people accept Julius Caesar as a fact, and there's more historical reference points to Jesus outside of like biblical text. So, but when it comes to religion, it's always a matter of people talk about religion slightly different than they talk about like historical. Like if we talked about like the Roman Empire, we just talk about it like, oh yeah, obviously it's a fact because we know that there's referenceable like historical references. We'll talk about it like historians, but when we talk about religion, people start getting a bit like, oh, did it even exist? But it's like if you look at it scripturally just from like a historical, like if you looked at it like you're like a historian that wasn't religious, there's more references to things that happened in the Bible than a lot of the stuff that we take for fact in like human history.
100%. So I guess, I mean, I fully agree with you. I don't think anyone who claims to be a historian and says that Christ didn't exist should be listened to at all, to be fair. Like it's not something that should be debated in 2024. But if you talk about the life of Christ now, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what scholars would debate. So people will talk about, okay, cool. Like obviously the Orthodox view in Christianity is Christ is God, right?
Yeah.
But other people would say, wait a minute, he was just a man. Like Mark said earlier, there was this, you know, it might be a fringe group belief, but that he, you know, had a child with Mary Magdalene, or that or maybe that his parents actually had intercourse and brought him into existence, as opposed to, you know, his mother being impregnated by the Holy Spirit.
You know what I think? So I think we don't know nothing. Even like Rob saying he don't think there's nothing in the Vatican that's gonna. I think that's crazy. I think there's stuff that if we saw will blow our mind and make us change the way we think about everything. Not just in the Vatican, all over the place. The way that they, you know, that history goes to the victor. And that was he saying even the religious stuff is based in history. So the stuff that we know is told by someone. There's one side. There's information that they're not there. Even the amount of knowledge and information that they burnt. Even Africa that they destroyed and stuff like that. Like I think there's so much things that we don't know, and if we was privy to certain information or read certain things or whatever, could change your whole outlook on life.
Yeah, I'm open to being wrong. I'm saying that I think that nothing. I didn't say that because I said none of us know what's there. So if something came that changed, then I can. I'm not like a zealous that will be like, nah, my mind can't be changed even if new information presents itself. I'm not like like when Kamala's supporter.
This guy. but obviously you can understand how difficult it would be for somebody who's been believing a particular belief system for the entirety of their life to then be faced with that situation. Because like, what do you do?
Existential crisis.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do? Because I feel like you said earlier, right? A lot of people who are Christians or a lot of people who are Muslims or whatever, or even Jews, right? They believe their religious books. And a lot of time they don't read outside of those books.
That's the problem.
You know what I'm saying? And then you're faced with, like you're saying, you're faced with that problem when somebody comes to you and says, wait a minute, you do understand that the scripture wasn't written by this particular person. Or for example, Genesis was written by Moses, but Moses wasn't there during Genesis time. Like little things like this will make somebody kind of shake and think, wait a minute, what's going on there?
But that's the problem. I think someone quote me if I'm wrong, but I believe because I've read the Torah is just the first couple of books of the Bible, but I read the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran. So and I believe the Bible and Torah are the only ones that say test your faith and kind of look. See if check, like basically like calling your bluff. Go and check out the other stuff. See if it's right. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of one of the reasons. And I feel like lots of people that grew up in the religion, whichever they believe it because of emotional reasons rather than like you should have both. You should have both sides of your brain should be working when you follow a faith, both the logical side and people can say, oh, what's logical about religion? But like logical side and the emotional side. But sometimes if it's just the emotional side, then when someone comes to you with like questions that like challenge it, they either get defensive and dismissive or throw away with their religion. But in reality, they should have done the education to really rebuttal some of these stuff in their own head so that when someone comes, they can't shake their faith. And you know, and there was this thing I saw about how, like, do you know a lot of people's misgivings with religions, like, oh, miracles never happened. Da, da, da. I was like, yeah, but if you believe in the Big Bang, then you believe in at least one miracle. You believe that nothing came from something. Something came from nothing. So at least you believe in one miracle. So if you can believe in one, why not 10 more? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear it.
Good morning, Chijoke.
Morning.
Do you could believe that God turned one snapper and harder bread and feeded all the people and got rosé from the rock?
No,
No, you don't.
there's more than one.
More than one snapper.
That's it. I think it was like
5.
something like that. Yeah.
And the Whispering Angels.
You do Whispering Angels.
It's rosé wine. I was asking the question. Do you believe that, Brent?
I think it's difficult for me to wrap my head around that.
No, that's not difficult. I was asking the question.
If I believe that Obia is real and it's powerful, 100%. I
don't know. I've been outside. I come outside the club before. I seen that jerk man and trying to make that pan stretch. It was crazy. But anyway, go on.
Part of the duchy.
Power of the duchy. It's crazy.
Good morning, Chijoke. What are your thoughts? On this blasphemous Wednesday?
I know. It's an asylum day anyway.
Okay.
I'm trying not to be part of it. I'm trying to like put some
Indulge, bro.
put some reasoning into it. But I'm not trying to get my soul, down for all of that. But I think in terms of what you lot are saying, I think the issue is that I think a lot of people do put their faith in their leaders. So in terms of who runs the church and who they see as the figures. So they want them to be beyond reproach and just be this person that doesn't have anything wrong with them, is just holier than thou. And I think the reason why it shatters them is because they're like, well, you're supposed to be above me, who's just trying to learn and pick up the teachings. So I think when you then hide the truth, you're essentially still keeping that fake image. And I think when it then gets broken out, people are confused, they're upset because they're like, why keep this lie as if we're small children? Like, give us what we're supposed to know. Because essentially there's a lot of people that have been affected by all the foolishness that they've done to, children and all these kind of things. And it shouldn't be that because you feel the church will break that you're supposed to hide those kind of things. No one wants that. No one wants to hear that.
Is it a case of just the church will break or that people's lives will be broken? You know what I'm saying? Like, forget the church as an establishment, as a place where people congregate, give tithes, sing praises, but the actual practicality of their life. I'll give you an example. You go to, what's that place called? Salt Lake City, where the Mormons are, right? Those people live their lives in a very, very regimented way. At least most of them, right? They believe. Those are believers. You know what I'm saying? You go over there and tell them that Joseph Smith was a con artist or this other person was a con artist and break it down and show them that, look, listen, what you believe, this spin-off from the New Testament isn't real. And you're actually successful in proving this to them. Everything that they did prior to that awareness, like, would change. Everything. They won't live their life in the same way. The abstinence that they had, like, for example, in terms of sex, for waiting for marriage, they'll be like, why am I waiting for this for? Let me go out there and do X, Y, and Z. The respect I have for maybe the law or whatever it may be, just how they carry themselves on a day-to-day will change. Structure of society will change. You know what I'm saying? And the question is that good for themselves, their own lives? And is that good for society at large? You know what I'm saying? So forget the church as an establishment, but just how people live their lives, the productivity.
Yeah, but I think where the issue is that what you're trying to establish is because they've got that focus of what they're supposed to do, then therefore, if they hear that someone makes a mistake, they won't be able to handle it. When essentially what you could also say is because of that mistake, you're also humanizing the person. I'm not saying obviously the people that touch children are humans
Yeah, of
in
course.
terms of
Yeah.
that's a human mistake, but I'm saying in terms of sexual morality and all those kind of things. That's something that I think a lot of people struggle with and have continued to struggle with when it comes to what they're supposed to do in terms of their teachings. So I think when you hide it, you're essentially saying, well, how come that person was good enough, but I wasn't? When essentially they weren't good enough. And you're essentially hiding something that could have been to show people, look, it's hard. And if we continue to keep going down this road of deceit, we're going to continuously go down the road of making people feel like there's a structure that essentially isn't there, that there's a way that, because it's not everyone that's doing it, and that's another thing. It's not everyone. So there are people who are able to do the right thing and also lead. So I think to then say, well, we're just going to hide the bad ones, no matter how much they are, it doesn't then stop the ones that are doing the right thing from also being an example.
I hear what you're saying, but two things, yeah. I think we then go into the realm of what makes somebody bad, and how many times does somebody have to do something for them to be deemed a bad person, right? Because somebody could do something once and it literally be, in hindsight, if you look at their lives over the next 30 years, only one time. Does everyone need to know that one time if it's going to destroy things? And number two, even if you put abuse and sexual abuse and all that sort of stuff aside, I'm just talking about, like, for example, Joseph Smith, he's the leader of the Mormons, right? The Mormon church. He had a whole new doctrine that spun off from the New Testament, right? If you, like I said, if you were to just prove that everything that he was saying was kind of made up, if you look at the Church of Scientology and you look at L. Rod Hubbard, and you say everything he did was made up. If you look at Jehovah's Witness, look at Rutherford, all these things were made up, right? And you prove this to the followers. Are you okay with leaving those followers to leave that organization and maybe going into the world at the age of 40, 50, 30 years old with just a lack of structure and their world crumbling? That's basically what I'm getting at. You know what I mean?
So what you're trying to say is it's more important to keep the structure than no truth.
In a person's life, sometimes yes, 100%. 100%.
I think that's quite surprising coming from you, because I thought your thing is truth.
Yeah, but remember that's for me personally. I don't think the majority are like that. This is why I've said on the show before that I understand why the government may hide certain things about aliens from the public. I fully understand. Like, I don't think the majority of the people in this country will be able to handle that.
So you don't want the institution to run the black curriculum?
What institution? What do you mean?
The current institution, the education institution, to run the black curriculum. You don't want there to be the truth about black people taught in schools.
I do want it to be the truth.
Oh, you pick and choose then?
I think in every situation everyone picks and chooses, but I'm talking about, like, me personally though. I'm okay with the truth. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like certain things, I understand why people hide it. It's not me saying, okay, cool, they should continue doing it, but I understand why they do, because I don't think people are really able to handle certain truths. Again, this is why I mentioned the whole thing about aliens. Look at that time where they had the War of the Worlds. I think it was the War of the Worlds in like the 40s or 50s. And this was like one of those shows that, obviously back then, not everyone had TV. So they just played the show, audio, on the radio. People that tuned in after...
They thought the world was ending.
They thought the world was ending. They thought it was a real program going out there talking about aliens. People lost their minds. This is a fact. People lost their minds thinking, oh my gosh, aliens are right here. What do we do? Where do we go? Who's going to help us? Just like that. You know what I'm saying? So people can't handle the truth, even though they say they can.
The consciousness has been raised since then.
Sounded like what?
It's wild, isn't it? I'm so shocked by him.
Why are you shocked?
We're real establishment right now.
What? Okay, let me ask you guys. Do you feel like the people can handle the truth?
Yes, I think they do.
Yeah.
They can.
Serious?
I think we underestimate the people's ability to handle the truth.
No way. There's the people in the positions of power, like the MI5 and them, man, the people that's got all the information. I think if you knew how much we was under threat or how much risk we was at from anything, all that constantly, You couldn't function. People can't handle the truth like that. You need the establishment to do the right thing. You can't give everybody all the information. That's crazy.
No chance. No chance.
But I think we kind of run on a state of fear anyway. That's why you're able to justify the government that puts in so much money into defense.
Bruv,
So
if
you're
there's a
essentially
comet,
still saying-
coming past, it's gonna miss Earth by 3 miles or something like that. What the fuck are they telling you so for? Or like, well, no, you get what I mean though. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree with you and the ad libber.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what the show's about.
Yeah, 100%. I would rather know that
No,
this
but
is
that's
what
what
was
I'm trying to say to you. Some of us, I think, can handle that truth. Some of us can do that. I don't think the
Yeah, I'm
majority.
talking about the
can.
masses. It's
I-
not
Exactly.
individuals. It's not
No, but the
individuals. I'm not talking about you
You're not
personally.
factoring in that you are comparing two different times. Back in the day, there was no introduction to anything out there, right? So I can understand why you're saying they may not be ready yet. But since then, a whole set of consciousness has been raised.
You see, when they raise the terrorist levels, imagine the things that they get all the time. Imagine they just told you everything that they get. Oh, there's a bomb in Canary Wharf. Oh, there's a bomb on the train. Oh, there's a bomb. Oh, don't go to the football. Imagine they told you every threat they get. You don't even leave your yard, bro.
Ever.
What are you
But
talking about?
I think the mistake we're making is that we're attributing altruism to the motivations for them not telling us stuff. They're not telling us stuff because they can't handle it. They're not telling us stuff because information is power.
It's a form of control. If I was in the leadership, I'd be doing the same
There
shit.
you go. So they want to basically maintain control over
Exactly.
all
So
of
it's
us.
for-
But also,
It's
something
maintain,
completely
also
different.
maintain order.
Get me?
It's not just
Nefarious.
control in a bad way, you know. A lot of the time people say, "Oh, control is a bad thing." Just like religion, it's just there to control. Yeah, it's to maintain order though.
So
To
basically-
bring
Or there'd be
structure to your
anarchy.
life.
There ain't no
Exactly.
structure.
So I don't like doing this because we're bunching a whole set of truths into the flipping conversation, right?
Cool.
Where I would just pinch out one, and you would say something completely different for that particular example, and then I would pinch out another one, and you would say, "Nope, I'm on that particular totalitarian."
But that's how it is though in life.
But I hate conversations like that.
Okay.
Because people are not seeing
We are
the
jumping a
nuance.
lot.
Okay, so what do you want to handle first?
You've introduced the topic.
Aliens. Should we do aliens?
Yes.
Okay.
Ah, man, look at him. He's saying, yes.
we
let's
can
go.
we can start with the terrorism. You got very passionate
Okay, cool.
about that. We can start there. If you don't want to talk about aliens, that's fine. Let's start there. You're saying that it's better not to let everybody know what they've thwarted.
Yeah. It's like in the movies.
No, but are you saying this after the fact? Because you're saying thwarted as in it's done now.
Whatever you were ad-libbing, that's what I'm asking about.
Before the fact, after the fact, I watched a movie, you know, like A-Team and them, man, but on a bigger level that go around and save the day. They don't get no gratitude. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they don't get no gratitude. They go home, sip their PG tips. People be out here saving the day, Jack Bauer and that. People be out here saving the day, saving the world, Craig. Trust me. I reckon once a week someone saves the world.
So you agree too? You don't you don't want to know, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
You don't want to know who is living in your community
No, I do.
and the dangers that are afoot.
Yeah, then.
The thing is, yeah.
I don't know why he has to.
understand.
He's
Huh?
got a child as well.
What happened?
You've got a child as well. I don't know why you had to pause for that.
Okay, okay. You know somebody in your community. All right, let me paint this for you. In a 1 mile radius of your home, you know there's 70 pedos. What are you doing tomorrow?
Are you going to link this on the fact that if you've bought a house, are you going to sell your
I'm not
the
linking.
house
I'm not
because of
link. I'm
that
not linking.
pedophile?
I'm not linking it to anything. I'm just basically saying your current situation. You've now heard in a 1 mile
Okay.
radius of your home, there's 70 pedos. What are you doing next?
Do I know where they are? As in, I know exactly their houses.
Ooh,
Okay, okay.
Vigilante. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Let's go down two paths. Let's go down two paths. One where you don't know, you just know there's 75 of them, right? And one where you do know.
Okay. I mean, in terms of the way I've raised my children, it still would be the same.
Okay.
It'll still be the way they go outside. I'll still be with them. They wouldn't be able to go out unless I can know exactly where they are. And they'll also be taught in terms of the danger of the world, not to talk to strangers. I don't think that changes because I know that they're close. Because I assume they're close anyway. Because I assume people are crazy.
So nothing changes.
I mean, if you're talking about for me personally, it doesn't change for me.
Okay. So I'll tell you
So
one thing.
if you're trying to link that to, you know, knowing the truth about what people are doing in the church,
No, it's not about the
still
church. It's
would mean that,
it's not about the
yeah,
church.
but
Okay, it's
but
more so
I don't
about
know
the.
if that's what you're trying to link it back to.
No, no, I'm not trying to link it to anything. It's just about the whole terrorism thing and the pedos and, you know, people's areas, and you guys saying you would rather know. So I'm basically saying, with the information now, you know, what have you done with this information? Because the reality is, the way I see it is, most people, and I think I don't want to put words into your mouth, but really nothing's changed. All that's changed is now you have stress. That's the only thing that's changed. Now you may not go to you may not take your child to school because one of those 75 might be a teacher. Now you may not leave them to go and play in the playground in the local park.
Yeah, but if you know they're the teacher, then you're petitioning to get them out of the school.
No, but this is why I said there's two paths. This is why I'm saying there's two paths. So one of them where you don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? And so basically what I'm trying to say to you is people will panic. People will panic. And most people are not going to go out there and start, wait a minute, is he one of them? Should I attack him before he attacks me or my child? Like, people's brains will go crazy. Again, I'm not saying that people shouldn't know the truth necessarily. I'm just saying I don't think the masses can handle it.
Just the way I live my life, because I like knowledge. I like to know all the information. I like to know everything because I can take it. But I don't never give people all the information. I give them what I believe they need. And that's it.
I think you're doing that thing again.
I'm just saying.
Where we are talking about, was it terrorists or nonces that you were just discussing?
The pedos. Yeah,
pedos. So you're saying if you had all the information, you wouldn't share it with anybody?
Huh?
What did you just say?
No, I was just talking about myself. I wasn't talking about the pedo.
And that's why I'm saying, if we're talking about a particular thing and you then ad-lib and then say, with me, I like to know everything, but I'm not going to be telling everybody everything. I'm thinking you're talking about this scenario. I'm not thinking you're talking about something as simple as how much this person's getting paid.
No, but just because you got confused, don't mean everybody else did, Brent.
Give me an example of what you're talking about.
Anything, everything. I live my life like that.
Don't do that.
I can't. That's just what I'm doing.
Because you just interrupted Emmanuel. Mm-hmm. He's asking Chijoke a question about these pedos.
Yeah.
Right? And you've said, me, I want to know, but I'm not telling anybody.
Because we were just referring to it. Everybody's having conversations. Even in the chat, they're talking to about people not being able to handle all the information. And I'm saying it's true.
Let's stay on the same discussion point. If you had this information about the pedos, or if you were asking him the question as opposed to Chijoke Emmanuel, answer the question.
I'll just move. Let's stay around no pedos. I'll just go.
Okay, so let's increase that now. Remember, by chance, you live in a place where in a 1 mile radius, there's 75. Yeah. What's to say that when you go to another area, there isn't that similar sort of thing? And let's just say maybe one of the areas that is available where we do know there's no pedos for 50-mile radius, relatively safe, right? The house prices are now four times as much.
But isn't this just the fear mongering that they're trying to do? Like, you don't know how much dangers they're out there, so therefore we're not going to tell you.
No, I get what you're saying, but it's not fear mongering. It's me saying this is now the reality, because the reality is we don't know how many pedos are out there. We don't know where what's it, Terry Venables. What's the other Venables?
The other Venables?
Yeah, you know the Venables that killed Jamie Bolger. We don't know about those guys, where they are. We don't know. And so what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to do the fear mongering thing. I'm just basically saying, like Mark said in the chat, having that burden of knowledge, like having that knowledge can be a burden. Your life will change. And I don't think the average person knows how to handle it. I'm not advocating for let's keep it from them. I'm not saying I'm anti-Julian Assange. I'm not saying those things here. I'm basically just saying, I just don't think the average person knows how to handle it. And I think, right, this is why some organizations keep certain things from people.
So you mentioned Julian Assange.
This is why. Sorry, can I? I think the difference is the macro versus micro. I think we're conflating the two. If on an interpersonal level, yes, you decipher, like, Iman, you're married. There's certain things that you tell your wife after you've already solved the problem, because you just Like if you told her before, she might just keep asking for more information about it
Yep.
until, and it would just add to the issue. I'm not talking about that micro stuff. Everyone does it. We siphon what we think someone needs based off of the person's temperament, what we know about them, what we know if they can solve the problem, etc. On a macro level, when we're talking institutions, all that type of stuff, I say just free up the information.
So okay,
That's crazy.
You said
Don't conflate the two.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying. Let's not conflate the two.
What sort of things are you talking about? Can you give me an example?
That's nice.
You said Julia Assange. That was a good example.
It was a
Okay.
good example.
Okay, cool.
That was,
So what sort of things for the public was Julian Assange revealing?
do you know why? Okay, so like, what did he reveal again? It was like the WikiLeaks, isn't it? Like, okay, so the reason why I like that stuff is that because sometimes you need to rip the band-aid. When people start finding out about Epstein list, Diddy, they start finding out about WikiLeaks, they start finding out about Project Pegasus and all these type of things, and they get released to the public. Now the veil has been lifted where the so-called conspiracy theories are vindicated, and now people actually see the world for what it is, and then they can you can't if you go into a room and everyone's fighting but you didn't realize there was a fight happening and your hands are tied behind your back, you're gonna get beat up. But if you start realizing what the world really is and all the so-called conspiracy theories are actually real, then you can actually
Equip yourself,
to
I
mean,
but Black Robbie, I think you're also
Can I just add in Edward Snowden? I think that was one
that's
that
the thank you, that's the other guy.
massive.
WikiLeaks,
Yeah.
So Edward Snowden, that's
Because that one is they're literally listening to your conversations.
exactly.
Everybody.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think
Hi guys.
Good morning, Bathroom Diaries.
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
I thought I'd get on here because Eman, you're going crazy.
Why?
The
What
reason why I
happened?
said- do you know what? Yeah, I feel like with the mentality that you just said in terms of not making sure people are not aware because people can't handle it. If you have that mentality, that's what they're doing with Black people anyway. They're not giving us, like, they've burnt all our books. They're not telling us our real history. So you've got a whole race of people that are going through stuff and they make us seem like we're crazy because it's like, oh, everything's got to do with race and this and this and that. But it's like, at the end of the day, if the world, even white people as well, if they were less ignorant and they knew more about the history and what really happened, then things would be different. Yeah, there might be a bit of a little civil war or there might be some chaos, but it's kind of like Marvel the Endgame. Sometimes there needs to be chaos for there to be peace. Whereas if you just keep lying to people like, oh yeah, this didn't happen, things weren't really stolen, then you just have a bunch of people that are just like suffering and being oppressed.
I hear you.
So that's why I disagree with what you're saying. Like, if there was a bunch of pedos, like, yes, we need to know if there's a bunch of pedos so we can protect our kids. Like, we can handle it. We're humans. There's a lot we can actually handle. And I think a lot of people think we can't handle it. And that's why we're going through all these little stressful depression situations. And we feel like we're all going crazy individually because we can see stuff and sense stuff as humans. But we're being lied to constantly.
I hear you.
Sorry
and
to
I
cut you off,
appreciate
because I
it.
hear what you're saying. I don't think I'm in the same boat as none of you lot. Because these are us talking about. I think it's that standard. Like, if there's information that people find out, they should be able to tell. Like, if there's pedos about, if there's certain information that's going to affect people, like that kind of knowledge you should give away. I know that. I was more speaking to like higher level, like the workings of the world, kind of thing, and understanding. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, even like the deeper things, like down to like history and space and economics
and,
economics and like proper things. Like I'm talking to that kind of stuff. If there's crazy things going around, whatever, sex rings and everyone should get that information. People should know it. So that's a given. I don't even think that was a debate. I was talking about like heavy shit, like, you know what I'm trying to say, like knowledge, like real knowledge and information, working in the world and histories and things. Like, I'm talking about proper shit. I don't think everybody should get that information.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's where we started. Obviously, we went on to the whole pedo thing, and I agree, but I think I was just kind of using the whole pedo thing as an example of just when you're giving information about a particular thing, what does the average person do with that information? And I'm not saying that we should have the truth held from us. I'm basically saying I understand why they do it, because as much as you guys feel like you can handle the truth, there are many things that I feel like as human beings we can't handle. Our life, the way we've lived for the last 20, 30, 40 years would change overnight. People would lose their brains. If now a study came out, right, and it was unequivocal. This wasn't a thing that E-Man was debating on TDA, but it came out and said, look, 95% of people who died during COVID that took vaccinations, for example, yeah, all died because of the vaccinations. The country would go mad.
Do you see a problem with what he's
That'd
just
be
said?
a good thing, though. But that would be a good thing.
Yeah, because we know the truth, and a lot of us already thought that something was up anyway.
But what about those?
Get me?
What about those?
You are on this platform basically screaming at Demi, saying, you need to know the truth.
Yeah.
You've been doing it.
Yes.
So you've been advocating, promoting them flipping, bringing the truth out. And now this
Now
is
you're
what you're doing.
advocating for them keeping it.
This is bonkers.
This
This is bonkers. This is the upside down right now.
Brent caught you in real time.
This is the upside down
It's
right
not.
now.
It's not a case. It's not a case of that, right? It's because again, right. To even use Bathroom Diaries example about the knowledge that is held from black people, I feel as though we need to do what's necessary for us to get that knowledge. I'm basically saying I understand the role of these institutions in trying to do what they're doing. I'm not saying I agree with it. Again, I've said this many times. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm basically saying from their perspective, because I can put on their lens and say, okay, cool. This is what is at stake here. This is why they're doing this. Can the average person? No, I'm not. Can the average person handle the burden of this knowledge? Can they carry it? Things will change.
I think we all understand why they do it.
Okay.
I think that was never up for debate. I think you.
No, because remember, you guys were saying it's down to just control. I was saying it's not just control; it's also order.
Yeah, order is control. Order and control.
They're similar, not the same.
They work hand in hand. They work hand in hand.
Okay.
What's the name that they give for when they're trying to make a one world government? What's that name again?
New World Order.
Exactly, order.
Just walked into that.
What does that mean, though? What does that mean?
Yeah, order is part of it's part of the playbook.
Again, I've said on the show many times. I think the only thing let me say the only thing, but one of the main things that differentiates human beings from animals is that there's some order, there's laws.
Are you saying you don't want no order?
No, I'm saying that on the other side of the if you want to get to this whatever utopian society, whatever, before you get there, you have to. I mean, there has to be some break a couple plates, innit? So if you're saying, oh, I don't want to break the plates, so let's keep it as it is, then we're never going to get to the other side.
Wait, are we also saying as well you can only lead through ignorance?
I don't think
what he's advocating for slightly.
No, it's not me advocating for that. Because remember, I've said myself, right? I've said for myself, I would prefer the truth, right? And I feel like even you yourself, Black Rob, I feel like the type of person you are, right? And the things you've said in the show, you would prefer the truth. But I'm pretty sure that not everybody can analyze certain things like you can. So people,
I think we're underestimating the masses.
Yeah, perhaps. But I'm basically saying this is why I think
it was truth versus lies, basically.
Which election?
Who won?
The Trump one, the American one.
Yeah.
I mean, you tell me. He was telling the truth and he was lying.
Which lie?
That's a good example.
Like, say what you want about the person. One person was telling you truths about what they wanted to do. Whether you agree with what they wanted to do, that's a different topic. He was saying, "This is what I'm gonna do," and this is the truth one. And the other person was evading answering questions at all. So maybe lie by omission. And even though they had the whole machine on their side, the truth won. So I think you're almost underestimating the general public's ability to determine or I'd rather have the uncomfortable truth than the polished lie.
I hear you. Again, I think like Mark said, just to be clear, when it comes to those things like the pedos and all them sort of things that could be a direct threat to you right now, that side, but more so big institutional things, right? Like information that could rattle organizations and institutions that have been established and been active for 1,000 years. I would like to know the truth, but I feel like my brain is that way, like inclined in it. But I don't think most people would.
I'll give you one more example of that because what you just said. Brent shared some stuff about 0 point energy or whatever, so that this stuff that maybe can make basically renewable energy, free energy, so that that could probably change the world. And then there's government organizations that have actively put embargoes on it. So if anyone tries to access that information, they basically get their IP gets taken away from them by the US government. That's the type of information that if you just freed it up to the masses, made it open source, then most people wouldn't know what to do with it. But there'll be some people that would create some nice stuff with it. So it's like whether it's good or bad. I gave examples of the bad, which was like all the nefarious stuff going on with the Epstein and Diddy and all that stuff, and then the good stuff. So like technology and IP that could change the world, but that would kill like the oil industry and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, and I think
the bad.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think again, I would sit in that boat where, again, this is why on the show, my personal views on freedom of speech is that we need to have freedom of speech. This is why, again, I believe in a free market. I believe in these things that would allow for people to be free. You know what I'm saying? For the truth to reign. But I'm just saying, I'm not too sure that the average person can handle a life like that. That's basically what I'm saying. Because I feel like there is a certain burden that you're now having to carry once you know certain things. And this is why I gave the example of religion. I don't really want to make examples about certain faiths because I don't want to be disrespectful at all, right? But let's, again, just using the whole thing about Jesus, for example, again, no disrespect, but if people found out, like, for example, or believed, it was revealed that the Vatican, for example, always believed this, the Church of England always believed that it just wasn't real. The stories you've heard, for example, in the Bible, it wasn't real. I believe society would crumble. I really do. I don't think people would handle that in a good way. Now, again, Bath and Diaries might say, okay, cool, there might be a bit of craziness for a short period of time, but then people will reset. Perhaps. You know what I'm saying? But again, what does that devastation in the immediate future look like? Would it ruin humanity long term? Or would it be a case of, you know what, let's just find a way to survive? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I get what you're saying, but I feel like the problem is because they lied in the first place, that's what creates the problem. And I do feel like, I don't know the statistics or the numbers, but apparently as humans, we are only using like 10% of our brain anyway. And I do believe in God. And I feel like obviously a lot of people can't handle stuff, but I feel like if we are fed the truth, because like I said, I feel like as humans, sometimes our instincts, especially as women as well, we know that something is off in situations. So I feel like we're literally in the Truman Show, if you've ever seen the Truman Show.
Yeah.
And it's like we are yearning, like our souls are probably yearning for the truth or some sort of truth because we've been lied to. Do you know what I mean? And that's all I'm saying. I feel like if we found out the truth, of course there'll be a bit of discourse, but I do feel like as humans we can handle it because we're humans, and I feel like God has created us to handle things, but we've just been lied to. But that's it, really.
I love that you said that, and I don't want to sound some type of way, but I feel like you may be better at handling it because you're probably are already the type of person who's kind of skeptical about certain things in scriptures anyway, right? You may not believe in organized religion. You know what I'm saying? But imagine somebody else who's fully there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's devastating, man. It's devastating. Entire nations are founded on religious belief systems. The whole Middle East is founded on Islam. The West, Christianity. Also, like, the whole war in Israel, Gaza, that whole area is based on religion. Imagine you found out that it was all fake. Who's handling that? Yeah.
But also that you've your no offense, Iman, but your whole I don't know what the word is. Your brand is built about being that some revolutionist, tear it down and that, and then what you're saying today is like, let's stick to the status quo because it's like a complete contradiction of like the Iman brand.
No, but Black Rob, you know what I'd like to do on the show, right? I like to question certain things. You know what I mean? Yeah. But me personally, I would definitely prefer the truth in it. But I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, can we as human beings really handle all of that? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like maybe this is why even when we are given information, we're kind of drip fed over the decades. You know what I'm saying? Because if we had it all in one go, it might be more disastrous. You know what I mean? So
knowledge is power.
Can we ever move forward if we don't know hard truths?
I think the truth is necessary. I think 100%. I mean, again, this is my personal view. The truth does set you free in it, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of like when you're taught something in school, isn't it? Like you're taught that maybe. Hello. Oh, okay.
Morning.
Oh, good morning.
Hiya. Sorry, Eman, I'm actually on your side. Okay.
Is Ebony?
Yeah,
Big up Ebony. How are you, man? You right?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good,
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
good,
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm listening and I hear the point. Sorry to cut you, Chad, but I don't believe that people can handle the truth. And I'm going to take it back and go back to COVID. And the reason why I want to go back and talk about that is because I worked in a care home during that time. And I tried to tell people until I was blue in the face that people are not dying the way that they're telling me that they're dying. And even though I was on the front line, nobody didn't want to believe me because it was easier to be comforted by the lie of it spreads like this is what's happening. And I can tell you categorically, they killed many of those old people because what their solution was, we don't know what to do, close the door, and if they survive, they survive, and if they don't, they don't. And that is how old people were treated during that time. But tell this to somebody else that believes that they have more knowledge than me because they've listened to that fraudulent Dr. Fauci about the situation. And it's, oh no, this is how it spread and that's how it spread. How can you tell me? And I was there in the crux of the matter.
Yeah.
I think, Ebony, I think the issue with that is, I feel like people can handle the truth, but from an authoritative, not say you're not authoritative figure, but I mean, if the news people actually said the truth, then people will be able to handle it. But because you don't have that power, that's why people question stuff. And I don't think it's right at all. I think it's completely wrong. But I do feel like if people knew the truth about COVID, or whatever the truth is, we would actually take the right precautions rather than being lied to. And then when people are saying the truth, there's a lot of like rebuttal.
Whatever the truth is about COVID, you ain't getting it from the news.
And this is the point. In the beginning, we were lied to. That's the framing of the conversation. We were lied to in the beginning. And then the people like us were now saying, this is the truth. And they were now like, no, but we've already made our decisions.
Yeah.
And people have died. So we can't now look
Go
to
back on
basically
that.
go back.
This is
Do you understand? That's completely different.
This is the problem. I'm of the mindset that the truth will set you free. You get me? Knowledge is power. The quest for truth, freedom, all of that stuff. Like that's just my personally like how I like to live and all that. I also completely understand for the people, for the powers that be, and for the institutions to work, how they are set up, one that I'm living in and kind of benefiting from or whatever. I also understand that they need to control the masses and whatnot. They need to withhold information. It's definitely relevant and it's important. And if I was one of them people in that position, I'd be doing the exact same shit.
So in order to basically maintain control, you have to lie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you agree with that?
Of course you have to lie.
All right, good.
What? Of course.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that both of you all understand that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
You'll have time with that.
I also think
because it's, as Rob said, it's a control.
it's not a case of being fine with it. It's more so just understanding. Again, personally, we would prefer the truth, but when I think you're faced with the decisions, right?
You could order food, you know.
Did you hear that?
You could order food. You have to sit and God damn it.
I think personally, not personally, when these organizations are faced with these certain decisions, right, the lie, it's not necessarily that I think lying is necessary forever, but I think it goes back to what I said about the drip feed and the information. I feel like sometimes you just have to gradually introduce the masses to something. Because if we had all the information given to us at the same time they find it out, I think it would be very scary for people. I think it really would. And it may even make it hard to even to assess certain situations and deal with them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. That's basically what I'm saying. But again, I personally would prefer it. But I'm just saying, can the masses do it? I understand what Bathroom Diaries is saying, though, because human beings, like, our number one function is to survive. And we always find a way. We always do find a way. You know what I'm saying? But again, how much devastation will we leave in behind us before we, figure out the way? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
All right, man.
All right,
we can wrap
people.
that up there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks
Thank you
everybody
very
that
much.
took part.
Yeah, man. Thanks everyone for calling in. Appreciate it.
Peace
Big up
out.
everyone in the chat as well, man. Let's get into more headlines.
No, and I'm supposed to be saying, continue to control. No way, man. No way, man.
No way, man.
Run the information, man. So we can just root them out.
I hear it.
Root them out.
I hear it.
Too much injustice have happened because people have said, nope, we need to control the masses. Too much injustice, and it's on us. A lot of it has fallen on us. So now,
how do you think though? We're a byproduct of that control in the masses, the society and the civilization that they built up. You benefit from it every day. You're living in it, and it's like
you're saying it's a human condition to want to be better than the other man.
I don't know, because if you get you get what you get and you tear everything down and it gets to anarchy, and then all your functions that you love in your beautiful house and your all these amenities stuff, they could all go.
But,
like you're benefiting from the system
before you build.
I'm just saying you're benefiting from the system that you say you hate so much, like that you say you need to stop it and all that. But all this control and all the rest has led to where we are today. This democracy and this civilization that we're living in your beautiful house. In
the same democracy in which is your rally against all the time. This fair democracy.
It's not fair.
Of course it isn't. And that's what I'm saying.
No, but two things can be true. I'm saying
you are a truth sayer, right? You're a truth speaker.
I try to.
This is how you live.
Yes, but I'm saying I understand.
You're not supposed to be saying anything else other than getting people to where your level.
No fact, but I understand.
That's what you're supposed to be doing.
I understand.
Help build up the consciousness.
What's my means to say to let's just go for truth and get everybody on the same length as me and then tear the place down and anarchy and then we're sitting in a fire and then what? Like, what's the aim of it? I'm saying that I'm not saying that what they're doing is right. I'm just saying I get the functionality of it.
All of your heroines, all of them, every single last one of them were
trying to tear down the system.
100%, every single last one of them.
Yeah, of course, you got to have people to fight, speak truth to power and try and fight the system, but no one ever wins. And if they actually, you be careful what you wish for, if they actually did tear down the world, you might go back to the Stone Age.
That's such nonsense.
No, I remember.
God damn it, that's such nonsense.
No, I agree with the whole truth thing. Again, my personal belief is that, but I'm just basically saying the masses, are the masses equipped for that? That's what I'm trying to say to you. People get upset when a politician lies to them.
It's so interesting because you do believe that different people have different IQ levels, right? Yeah. I know you've been on here saying that we should even incorporate some sort of IQ test before you vote. Right? So you too don't believe that anybody should have the agency to basically make a decision unless they're informed. Then what are we doing here?
How you withholding information from people?
What are we doing here?
I hear you. He's making a good point, Brent. I mean, Iman.
It's more so about what will bring about the best end. And if it is that people make informed decisions, fantastic. I agree with you. That will be the ideal situation. But I'm basically saying, and again, my own personal thing is truth. But I'm saying I understand. And maybe this is why governments, institutions give it to us in drips and drabs. Maybe this is why they give it to us a bit in the movies and certain things, so that we can become like we can adapt bit by bit.
We've been lied to as to what a democracy is actually supposed to be as it's fully functioning. Because what we say is we're listening to what you want.
Okay.
We'll ask you the questions, you let us know. So in that same spirit, right, would you be down for anybody who wants to know the truth? You tell them to come through here. If it is that they don't want to because they are afraid, they can't handle it, then you keep them over there. Would you prefer that? Instead of making up the decision, their minds for them? This idea that they won't be able to handle it because you've decided they won't be able to handle it. But yet we have education systems where we tell you to come through so we can educate you, so you can be right and proper for society to grow, right? But then we decide what it is that we're going to basically, if it's up to you, we won't give them what they need for the society to grow in those educational spaces. I mean, it's all a cyclical flipping...
No, I fully understand. I fully understand. Again, I'm on that side personally. And maybe it may seem bad that I'm basically saying this about society, but I feel like history has shown us many times that people, when given a lot of information or when lied to, they just feel some type of way. And if it's so big and it's something that they rest their entire life on, it can cause a lot of devastation.
And I feel the issue here is you keep referring to history.
Okay.
Right? And you say, well, the present and the future is informed by what has come before.
Okay.
That's what you normally say, right? But in the present, you can decide what needs to change. You're always basically advocating for change, right? A renaissance, a revolution that involves change. So why can't you be the change that you would want to see, or you would want your children now
again,
to be able to see.
again.
And that starts with, if it is that you have the platform, because you do have a platform, you
Yeah.
can now start speaking truth to power.
I mean, I do that.
That's
all the
what
time.
you always say.
Yes, I
What's
know.
the mathematics today?
No. What's today's mathematics?
Oh, sorry, I apologize. Are you correcting me there?
Yeah, 'cause
there you
listen.
go. Come on. What's today's mathematics?
Today's mathematics. Well, today's the 13th. So today's mathematics is knowledge, understanding, all being born to culture freedom.
God damn it. You see what happens there? Knowledge,
It's power.
understanding,
Yes.
and it leads to what?
Culture freedom.
There we go.
Yes. But I hear you, Brent. I hear you, Brent. Again, maybe I'm doubting humanity a bit, and maybe I shouldn't. Again, for myself, I'm on that side of truth. Let's know the truth. But maybe, again, I'm just looking at the world and thinking, if people really did, like...
If you
I don't
say that it's needed to keep order, and you're debating that order is different from control, you still debate that, right?
Say it again, sorry?
You still debate that order is different from control.
Yeah, I don't think they're synonymous in every situation. No, I don't think so. I think control sometimes can somewhat denote and have a negative context. I think order doesn't have to be negative.
Because if you would say that they lied to us about COVID in order for everybody to go one direction, didn't everybody go one direction? Well, the majority of people, didn't they go one direction?
When what? During what?
Let's start again.
Yeah.
During COVID,
Yeah.
they quote unquote lied to us. This is your belief.
Okay.
And everybody went one direction.
Yeah.
The world went one direction. So it worked, right? The control worked. They kept order, right?
Okay, cool.
No, I'm not. I want
No,
you
I'm
to
following
be
you.
on board.
I'm on
Do you
board.
agree?
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I do. I
All
do.
right, okay. Now, on the flip side, if they told the truth, you are now saying they wouldn't have been able to handle it. They can handle what we lied to them. Because remember, whatever we lie and say, it becomes the truth in the mind.
What is the truth? What are you saying the truth would be?
I only use COVID on because you took a position in COVID and
Okay,
you were
cool.
telling Demi that they were lying to us. So
Yeah.
I thought I could use that because you'd be able to relate to it. If you can't relate it, I'll use something else.
Yeah, but Brent, again, like with every situation is different. The ramifications of knowing certain things in every situation is different. It's just that. If I knew that, for example, they spent 4 times as much tarring the roads as like, you know, it would ordinarily cost, I may be upset, but be like, okay, cool, and forget about it in 10 minutes. If I then found out, for example, the whole PPE thing, I might be upset for longer. If I then found out that the whole NHS thing wasn't really public funds, it was whatever it may be. There's basically, what I'm trying to say is implications for different things. So the COVID thing, okay, cool, it might be this. People might react upset and forget about it. But again, this is why I mentioned stuff like religion. Stuff that people base their entire existence on, their entire life, how they frame their life. Remember, there are people out there who are killing for their gods. They're out there killing for their God and this holy land. And you all of a sudden find out information. Hey, yo, we read the scripture wrong. In fact, this was just a storybook. Should we tell the people this? What?
So in the example that you just said, you could possibly stop people killing for their gods if you basically told them the truth. That's the example you just used.
No. What I'm trying to say to you is, it could potentially, so in one scenario, it could potentially stop. But then you could also get the ramifications of other people, like on other people worldwide talking about, wait a minute, so why did this have to happen? You know what I'm saying? And then that could spread. But then you could also get those people who go out of their way to say, no, it's not actually true. Why are they trying to do this? The powers that be are trying to lie to us. Okay, cool. We need to now fight with more aggression against the system about something that is actually true. What I'm trying to say is, I don't know what could happen. I'm just saying that things will happen. And can all these things that will happen be controlled? You know what I'm saying? So that humanity isn't destroyed. Institutions are not destroyed. Things that we rely on the day to day isn't destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, like something as simple as podcasting. People can say to themselves, okay, yeah, you know, I'll be able to adapt. I'll just come on the show and we can educate the people via the microphone and put out a podcast. What if that now, the ramifications spread into the whole energy industry? There's no electricity for like 6 months in the country.
You disagree with your rights being infringed on?
Yeah.
And you will always disagree with that? Question. I'm asking question.
Yeah.
Focus on me.
Yeah, I am.
You would always disagree with that.
Yeah.
How you're teaching you're rearing your daughter?
Yeah.
Are you instilling in her what you have in you?
Yeah.
And would you encourage her to do that with her friends?
I would love her to. Yeah.
How about her children?
Yeah.
If you're still around, God willing, you will be 100%.
100%, I'll be here.
Why is that important? Why do you continue that?
Because I feel like again, the truth. My personal belief is that we should know the truth, right?
Pause right there.
Yeah.
Would you ever look to tell her that in some situations you should be cool being lied to because of the bigger picture?
No, I wouldn't necessarily that she should be cool with it. I would more so, because again, like maybe this is where you're going with it, how I'll try and prepare her mind is to say that there's situations where people do not tell you the truth about certain things. Understand what the ramifications may be once you know this. Be prepared for anything.
All right. So in all eventualities, you're going to basically equip her with that particular skill set to search for the truth.
Yes.
And be prepared for any eventuality because people lie. Now, that's the vibe I got from you since I've known you, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, because earlier you said, you know what I do on this platform, Rob? You know, I be devil's advocate. I don't think you need to. I think you have enough people in this particular world who are pushing what they want to push. This platform was supposed to speak truth to power at every single turn, right? Yeah. I know as the conversation is happening, yes, you can entertain, you can steelman it. You can basically provide what the other party would say, just to make sure that where you stand, it's solid ground. That's what we do all the time, right? But it bled into you not just steelmanning, you not just being devil's advocate. You actually believe that certain situations you're fine with the lying.
Yeah, but I said this already. I said because I understand. So again, I'll give you a perfect example. And again, this doesn't go down, this is not for the low level stuff. This is more so about stuff that people's entire lives are built upon. You gave an example about my daughter. She's a child. You can raise children to be something. You can't fix broken human beings. When you have a situation where people spend 40, 50 years believing in a particular thing, they believe they're going to heaven. And all of a sudden, this is a hypothetical. You've now told them there's no heaven. You die and there's ground, right? And then they think about all the times they've used, the girlfriends and boyfriends they missed out on for this lie, the church they go to, and every other thing that goes into a person's brain. I'm basically saying I can understand why it is you won't tell them the truth in that moment. I think with time, again, truth will set you free. I believe this, but I'm saying with time, I can understand why you gradually let them know certain things. And it has to be gradual, because I feel like the consequence of this is that there may be a total tear down of institutions that human beings rely on, that have been there for thousands of years.
So
that's what I'm saying.
You do agree that everybody should be told the truth, just
yes, I said that
incrementally.
Yes, I think that's
there
a better way to handle it.
There are points in this conversation where it wasn't the case.
No, but this is why I said this is why we're given certain things.
And that's fine as we've got there. That's fine. That's completely fine. It's utterly fine.
Okay.
And I like the fact you keep going to this whole religion stuff.
Yeah, because
right?
I feel like that's one of the biggest things.
Because you feel that society works because there is
religion. Yes.
And that has been since the very beginning. But yet you want to suggest that that might be a falsehood. If it's been from the very beginning, as you say, now is the time to say that everything's wrong. How is one going to find that out? Like, how does that hypothetical even get realized?
Because it's not necessarily a case of religion being wrong. It's more so the details within a religion. The things that keep you different from this person because of your two different belief systems, the detail there might be wrong.
No, you're changing it again.
How am I
Because now you're saying it's not that I'm taking away religion. I'm now taking away the detail of the religion.
But then that may take away someone's religion.
Why I'm saying my mind is not like yours. Your brains are fantastic, lovely. You could basically jump from left, right, and center. I can only focus on one thing at a time. So if it is, I feel as though you're making a point on one thing.
Yeah.
In my head, I've fixated on that one thing.
Okay.
If it shifts and you haven't told me that you've shifted it, I'm going to be like, what? That doesn't make sense to me.
Okay,
right?
cool. It's good that you're asking. Go on.
Yeah. So, I understand religion, order, control, this, that, and X.
Cool.
And from in your perspective, from the very beginning of time, this has been the case, right? So we've instituted religion in the first place, right? I'm talking about it as an umbrella, like just have a belief.
Are you saying I'm saying whoever did religion in the first place did it for control? Is that what you're saying? I'm saying
This is
that's not what I'm saying, bro.
I think that. Let's go.
I'm not saying
Let's
that.
go.
I think religions are expressions of people's cultural practices. I don't think it's done for control. I think it can be used for
Oh, no,
control.
certain religions when they got changed, when the people got their hands on them. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Some, but I don't think
They probably all
that
started
way.
from cultural practices
Yeah,
and stuff. But
exactly.
once people understood the power of it, then they
Exactly.
started to control people with
Yes.
it.
Have you seen this film called what's that guy that, no disrespect to him, he looks a bit, I don't want to say weird. He's an actor, he's probably like 60 now. Willem, he was the green guy in Spider-Man.
the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
All right.
What's his
Let me
name?
just find his name.
I know
I
your
know who
name.
you're talking about.
Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Him.
There's a film with him, I think Scorsese directed it. Something of Christ. Oh, what's it called? Anyway.
William Dafoe?
That's the guy. Thank you. So he did a film, right? He he acted as Jesus in this particular film. I think it was done by Scorsese, and yeah, everyone's saying Willem Dafoe, and it looks at basically, kind of, yeah, that's the man. That's the man.
Such an expressive face, isn't
I
it?
could say he looks like that character. He looks like the Goblin. He's sick.
And there's a film that he did, something Christ. I can't remember what it's called. Brilliant film though. But again, I'm not too sure if that film is for everybody, because it makes you question things.
Temptation of Christ.
That's the one. Thank you. And it makes you question things, or at least it will make certain people question it, right? This is why, by the way, when it comes to certain religious discussion, sometimes I let people have what it is they want, because I feel like that's one of those things that, if you, I don't know, I feel like it's one of the worst things you can do to take somebody out of their religion sometimes, if they're not prepared for it, right? And make them question things, right? So, but anyway, I mentioned this film because it's out there anyway. You may stumble across it in life. So anyway, but in this particular thing, you have a story, spoiler guys, where Christ, who's Willem Dafoe, living his life or whatever, and somehow he survives the crucifixion. But then you have the Apostle Paul, right, who basically wrote most of the New Testament, right, coming around and basically almost conjuring up this story of Christ dying. And the whole resurrection, everything that we see in the New Testament, Paul is out there preaching. And he's used this particular belief, right, to rally up people, to give people hope. Meanwhile, Christ is walking around. Somehow people don't know who he is. And then one day Christ comes to him and says, yo, you're telling my story. Like, why are you lying to the people? I'm alive. And the man's like, listen, this is bigger than you. This is bigger than you. People believe in the story of you. You know what I'm saying? And you dying and you resurrecting, and the hope that comes from it and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm basically trying to say is, if something like that was to be a reality, I don't believe it to be a reality, but I'm just saying, if something like that was to be, it would shake people.
I don't like
Why is
when
it echo?
it's somebody on the line. I don't like when it is that we now look to face a conversation with specifics that you can't even flip and like conceptualize.
Because what, hypothetical?
Hypotheticals are fine, but give me something that I can relate to.
Okay, in what way though? What
yourself don't even believe in the thing in which it is you're putting to us.
But
right?
why does that matter?
I'm asking you to help me be part of the conversation.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You can do it.
Okay.
Cool. I can't do that particular question that you've put to me. That hypothetical.
Yeah.
I can't, because the person I'm talking to, you can't even basically do it. You can't even do it.
I think for me, like, I don't need that though, innit? Like in a conversation. Like, I just need to know that there's a possibility that X, Y, and Z could occur, and then I can try and entertain the conversation.
And I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Give me another example that we can actually like use.
That could potentially
We've
be true.
used COVID before, right? We've used that. We've used the election.
Okay,
In this
I
example,
can't
this
with
conversation, we've used things that we can actually wrap our head around because we've lived it.
Okay, cool.
Do you understand?
I
It's
can't think
easy
of
for
something.
me to be part of the conversation if I can reach it. Do you understand?
Alright.
Good morning. Good morning. You can speak now. We can hear noise in the environment. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Do you believe all them stories, all the stories from the Bible?
Never mind.
Or
All of them?
do you think they're fables or do you think they're real? Like, do you
Good
think
morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Like Jonah and the
All
world.
right.
and all
So
that, or Daniel
good
with the
morning, gentlemen.
lions.
Sorry. He's not
I've been
talking
tuning in, and so the questions are, Iman speaks about the truth will set you free. Wondering first and foremost, the question I'm thinking is, what is the truth? That's the question that I'm sort of kind of get asked off here because everyone has a different sort of idea what the truth is.
Yeah.
So of course, there's many different examples that you can come up with: COVID, history, so many things. And I think there's two sort of ideas of truth: the truth for oneself. So what is the truth for your own sort of what's the truth that you seek within yourself, within the circumstance that you have, and what is the truth that's everyone? And I kind of almost got a bit triggered by the idea that the people can handle the truth, but what people are we talking about? Let's be sort of specific here. I'm going to a field, as I mentioned before earlier. I'm a trainee therapist at the moment. Free.
Hello?
Okay, some might, that for some people it might set them free, but what if it damaged that individual? What if the truth damaged that sort of individual, and who gets to help that person? Let's say the truth that they seem to find out was actually a whole lie. And imagine dealing with that. Imagine a lady reference to the Truman Show. How do you think Jim Carrey's character felt after finding that his whole life was just a lie?
Yeah.
It can be a sort of depression, some sort of not willing to accept. You know what I'm saying? What is reality? What is not reality? I think the idea should come. I don't think we're going to find some sort of, and I do agree in Marx's point that I think if you find out the truth, I think people could sort of hand. I think there'll be some sort of tyranny, as Jordan Peterson might probably say. But nevertheless, I think the truth is a very scary thing, and you have to. And then who gets to say the truth? So who's that person that gets to say the truth? And why do you have to say the truth? Because we're going to be arguing against another person's truth. It's my truth, but then you have a truth over there. So what is the truth? So the question becomes fundamentally, what is the truth? And because the truth, we can all generalize the truth, but when we have our own personal sort of, so look, I'm a dad of two. I have my own truth, but my truth is different from someone else who has who doesn't have children, or someone that has two children as well, just like me, but his truth is different as well.
Yeah, but you're saying stuff like his truth and my truth.
It's a great conversation.
When people do all that my truth thing, your truth could be anything.
Sort of thinking, but I think it all comes down to the sort of oneself. And a lot of the time, I come up with this theory about the oneself, asking yourself, what is the truth for yourself that you can move accordingly? Because as sad as it may seem, we don't have a collective sort of community. Maybe in certain areas, of course, 100%. But a collective truth for this world that we live in, with so many things.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, bro? Hello?
Can't hear us.
I don't know what's going on. He keeps saying his truth and my truth. And then people that do that my truth thing, and all that, like, it's like, okay, you're saying what's your truth, what's true to you and your lived experience and your, but what's that got to do with, like, the truth? Like, you saying that what's the truth? Facts is facts, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Facts is facts. Someone else's truth.
Yeah, sorry. For some reason, I can hear you I'm playing you on my background, but I can't hear you on the Discord itself.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, because even like when you're saying that, it's like his truth and my truth and like saying what's the truth. If you're gonna start saying my truth, you're gonna talk about your personal experience. That's separate to everybody else. That's not linear. You know what I'm trying to say? So we need to work with like facts, innit? Like it's like the truth. I don't come with my truth. You can't say what's the truth. The truth is what's real, what's happened. Facts. It ain't opinion, conjecture, and none of that stuff.
Can truth be experienced though?
If okay, cool. Say I said, yeah, every person I met called Brent was punched me in my face and they're horrible. All Brents are horrible.
I like
this
argument.
All Brents are horrible. That's my truth.
Yeah.
That's my lived experience. That's happened. I've met 100 Brents and they punch me in my face. I dislike these Brents. Brents are horrible people. This is what it is. That's my truth. What the fuck's that got to do with everybody else? That is not the truth. You get me? So when you start saying my and his, it starts getting crazy. When you say what's the truth is the truth. Facts. It's not about opinion. So my lived experience is, all Brents are horrible, but let's go, that's just me. What about everybody? We need to go linear across the board. Are all Brents horrible people? No.
But Barnes, I think this goes into what he was saying and kind of what I was saying as well, right, about when you take away someone's belief system and what they deem as their truth. Because the reality is, if all Brents punch you in the face, you've got 20 examples of 20 different Brents punching you in your face. You are, no matter what I tell you, you're not prepared to risk
speaking to another Brent.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I'm saying? Because everything tells you that the next Brent I meet will punch me in the face.
But I've met
and
a Brent.
I've met a Brent that
I've met a Brent that you might have met a Brent that didn't punch you. So yes, you can speak to say like, it's just your experience with Brents. It's not all Brents.
Yeah, but all Brents might not like your face. Do you get what I'm trying to say though? There might be something about who you are fundamentally that makes this your truth. So if I try and take this truth away from you, your fate will be exposed for Brent 21. You know what I'm saying?
That's why it's tricky, man, because how do you feel about that, Brent?
How do I feel about experiential truths?
Yeah. Does it make it true?
And I think that was what the caller was initially talking about, because I found it very interesting that they came from a therapist environment, because they would know what
Apologies,
the client, they would know what's dangerous for the client based on what they've shared with them and how they've deemed, the inner workings of the brain and whatnot. And they would possibly need to manage and facilitate what truths are fed to them at what time because of any impending doom. So I get that, but it still speaks to your point of you can't handle this right now in your state.
Yes.
So let me try to get you there. But in saying that, the task, the goal is still to get them there.
Yes, from my perspective. But again, the therapist might say, is it really worth it? Do you get what I'm saying? Is it really worth it?
No, I'm therapist. Let's get back into what you were talking about, because I think kind of when you started saying my truth, your truth, Mark's got triggered a bit because the timeline and that. Yeah. Well, let's get back into the boat. Continue.
Yeah. So you're right, because as a client, obviously I have my truth, right? I can't accept, for example, I'm a black man living in the UK, right? If a black client comes into my therapy room, my truth can be very different to his sort of truth. Of course, we would like some sort of linear sort of truth, but unfortunately, we can't really sort of have that.
Why
so
not?
The truth that sort of brings into me,
but
that's
why
his
can't we have linear truth?
Do you know what it is? Did you know it's because that's a good
Just
question.
because you
Mark, and I
believe
think-
something doesn't make it real. Just because you believe something doesn't make it true.
But we're going based on facts. You said facts, right? So you said the truth that I brought up when I was living in Southeast London, there was violence around, right?
Yeah.
And then someone else could be living in that sort of area, but then he might not have witnessed sort of violence because, for example, he might have that two-parent household that facilitate a space that you got to avoid that sort of stuff.
You
But my
heard the
truth
saying
is
two
that
things can be true at the same time also.
I agree with that. Yeah, so many things coexist. That's the reason why we have conversations. That's the reason why a lot of things can coexist in one sort of realm, and hence why we have these sort of conversations. We go back and forth with the dialogue, right? But I can't also assume as a therapist as well in the therapeutic relationship that I have with my client, I can't assume my truth is the same as that person's sort of truth. So I have to hear and unpack that sort of truth that one individual speaks for, and whether or not he wants to accept that truth or whether or not he will be discouraged by the truth, that's a whole nother thing, because I'm talking about the impact, right? What is it, the impact of us knowing the truth, and what truth are we talking about here? From the individual point of view, are we talking about a generalizing sort of truth that we're having? There are two truths that I'm trying to unpack here. Yes, for the individual, I can listen to the individual's truth. So, Mark, if you came to my therapy room, right, I would listen to what you say to me is your truth, right?
It's my experience.
Yeah, your experience, but then also...
Yes, I'll stop throwing this truth word around. It's my experience. It's my lived experience. It's my life.
Yeah, but Is that not true to who? Is that not true though to who?
Yeah, but then you
are?
can't push that on everybody else. Start to generalizing the umbrella and saying this is the truth. This is my experience.
Language now. We're doing language. We're doing up language now.
Okay.
Experience.
We're doing up language
As a
now.
therapist, I'm listening to your experience. I'm not trying to push anything onto you. I'm not gonna say, oh, Marx is like this, Marx is like that. I'm listening to what did Marx say. So when I go to speak to some, let's say my supervisor or so, and they said, okay, talk about the client that you speaking to Marx. Okay, this is what Marx said. I'm not gonna start saying, oh, this is what I think Marx was saying. Yes, I can probably have my own sort of interpretations. Yes, I can have my personal sort of, feelings about your experience. But hence why I go to a personal therapist to talk about, unpack, or what did that sort of bring up for me. But I'm not going to start saying, oh, that's Marx's truth. That's not my truth to sort of live in. So that's why I'm
question for you.
Is what is the truth? That's what I'm. And you keep saying by facts, but whose facts are you talking about? The facts of the individual or the facts of generalization? That's what I want to get onto, because that's fundamentally, that's what I wrote in my notes. When you guys were speaking, I questioned, what is the truth? Is it the truth from the individual or the general sort of public idea of what truth is? Hence why I agreed with you, Mark, when you spoke about the public sort of idea of if everybody knew about the truth and we can handle the truth, they'll be tyranny. And in some sort of regards, I agree with that. But when I sit with my clients in the therapy room, there's different types of truth right there, my bro.
Therapist, got a question for you.
Wait, can we wait? Don't say therapist. Can you?
What's the name?
I don't like.
Sorry, what's the name? Sorry, what's the name?
Can you let us use a name?
Oh, what's the name? Sorry.
Yeah, my name's Welcome. Like literally Welcome.
Welcome. Okay, welcome. Question. If someone's truth in quotes doesn't align with reality, do you accept it or do you try and bridge the gap?
That's
That's
a good question.
It's a good question.
Are you talking from a point of view of as a therapist? If I have a client in my room,
Yeah, sure.
or you generally me as a as a
give one answer for each.
Okay, but as a therapist in a therapeutic room, I do obviously my type of therapy I do is personal centered therapy, so it's led by the client. It's not for me to oppose my sort of ideas or anything like that. It's for me to sort of unpack the sort of ideas that the client sort of has. So if it's far from sort of reality, I will question that. So I might think of disassociation. So, okay, why is there sort of disassociation? What happened in the client's sort of upbringing or experiences that led to that person to be far removed from a sort of reality? That's what I'm sort of unpacking. I'm not there to give you the answer. Do you know what I'm saying? Because even as people might think as therapists, you're there to cure or help that individual. I may not help you as a therapist, or maybe there's a different type of therapy that might be sort of needed to sort of unpack there. But yeah, within the time of the therapy, with that, I'm just there to listen to you and see and expand your sort of worldview to see if we can bridge that gap to some sort of reality. But if not, then we think about something else. On my own personal point of view, I think it's so harsh because I realize a lot of people are very hurt. A lot of people hold a lot, and yes, I am talking these therapeutic language as trauma and stuff, and I know these things have become like buzzwords, but it's how it manifests and how we sort of deal with those type of things, right? So how people kind of avoid the sort of truth because it's just safe. Because sometimes knowing the truth is a scary thing, and sometimes it's hard to accept the sort of truth. It might be hard for someone to accept that my dad or my mum abused me when I was young, so I pretend that never happened. So because the pain or the feelings that the body can, there's a book called The Body That Keeps the Score, how the trauma sort of manifests itself within the body and how the body sort of reacts to that. So I could understand that some people could be far removed from reality because it's safe. I think in my own personal life, I go into superheroes as a disassociation because I didn't want to accept certain reality of my life. But then after a point, I made the choice to realize, okay, let me unpack that. Let me see why I disassociated and looked at my sort of experience, my truth. But nevertheless, that's my own personal point of view. But as a therapist, I have a different sort of angle because we go by a framework, the BSAP framework that we have and what is intended for the therapist and the client.
One more question. Are you religious?
I was born as a pastor's son. And as I got older, I just got so interested in just worldviews that I didn't want to be a disservice to any sort of Christianity because I wasn't going to church and I thought that wasn't honest of me. So I'm more of like an open book, but I study heavily on religion.
Fair enough. Because the whole my truth, our truth stuff, I always I've learned to take a new approach to this. Because if someone's religious and not religious, I attack it slightly differently. If you're not religious, then I'm like, I have no argument for the my truth, your truth thing, because I'm like, that means you think everything's subjective and there's no moral, everything's relative and subjective, and everything is basically based on what you believe in your own mind, and you can't argue against that if there's no foundation. But like, if someone is religious, then there's a contradiction between using the term my truth and then actually believing in the objective truths. But if you're not, then I have no argument for you, but I don't think my truth exists. I think we're conflating my truth and my experience. I think experiences are subjective, but truth is regardless of how you feel about something, it is what it is.
My experience is subjective. If I experienced something that happened, why is that subjective?
No, I'm saying experience is subjective, yeah, because if you
It's subjective because I have
something,
people who go through the same experience and not the same thing, not experience what you did.
yeah. But if I say if the sky's blue, it's blue to everyone. If someone else says it's green, then they're wrong, regardless of even if they believe that to be true.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, I get you.
Black
Yeah,
Rob.
fair.
Quick question, yeah. If everybody evolved over the next 1,000 years and we started seeing the blue frequency as green and everyone looked up at the sky and it was green through their eyes.
Man, you're
No,
special guy.
it's just a question. Is the sky green or is it blue?
Your hypotheticals. I get what Brent is saying now.
No, but you get what I'm saying.
So basically, you're saying if the sky turns green, would it be green? Yes.
The sky wouldn't turn green. He's saying evolution. He's saying there will be different frequencies. Humans will start to be able to see from different frequencies. And then once you've evolved, when you look up, the colors that you're seeing, it's not the sky is not blue no more. It's green. Okay. What he's asked you, what he's saying was, now because you've leveled up, the sky was green this whole time, but we thought it was blue. That's the conundrum.
Exactly.
I think the question is like, you know that thing about like that dress, that was it blue or was it gold kind of thing? Do you know that one? Is that what the? Like,
I've seen it both colors.
Yeah, so then
yeah, I've seen it both colors. Yeah.
If the thing in question is subjective, then the answer is subjective, so that's fine.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But that's just a way to get out of it, though. If I'm saying to you, everyone is saying to you at this particular time, we've seen a green sky, right? But the sky ain't changed for the last 100 years. Only our eyes and how we perceive light, the different frequencies, right? What color is the sky? Who is lying? Who is telling the truth?
That's a great question. Do you know what you're basically saying is that if enough people agree to something, does that make that the truth? No.
Okay. So
truth is the truth regardless of how many
no,
people believe it.
and I'm glad you said that. So let's go back the previous 100 years when everyone saw it as blue. Was it blue at that time? Do you get what I'm saying? Because at any given time,
how many people believe it?
Huh?
The truth is the truth, regardless
so
of how many people believe it.
Are you prepared to say that sometimes we can just never know the truth, even though we're looking at it?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay. And I think if that's the case, then that makes it somewhat subjective, because then it's based on what we're looking at.
No, it's not.
You just said no, but not giving any reasons.
No, you given a circular argument. And I said the truth is the truth, regardless of what we. So if like,
do you get where I'm coming from?
What truth are you talking about? Like, what truth? What truth are you really talking about? Like,
okay, I'll give you another example. Everyone thought the Earth was flat. That it was known that everyone around the world thought the Earth was flat, and then we eventually found out that the Earth was round.
But not everyone thought it was a theory.
It's a theory. It's a theory. Okay, sorry, it was a theory, but it was like, just because like if 51% of the world believes something, that doesn't make it true. It's not a consensus. The truth exists before and after people find out about it.
And yes, exactly. But somebody has to articulate that truth to you, right? Or you have to learn that truth. And usually,
you can learn it, but it's there, regardless of your acknowledgement of it.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is, in a real practical world, right, that truth is based on people's perspective and basically how they interact with it. So this is why I said in year 1, when everyone sees it as blue, in year 100, where everyone sees it as green, who is anybody to say that one is right or the other? I get what you're trying to say, that at some point in time, maybe the only person who can tell you is God, right? But when we're in living in this world where no one's talking to God, right, and God's not talking to anybody directly, audibly, MP3 style, right, that means it's based on somewhat of the consensus. And this is why I think it goes back to what Welcome was saying about the truth thing, because, and also what Margs was saying, if every Brent punches me in the face, like, to me, the truth is something that you can bet your life on, almost, right? And if this person has been punched in the face by 100 Brents, I think that person will bet their life on the fact that they will be punched in the face by the 101 Brent. And that person would be right.
Based on their experience.
Exactly, based on experience. And I think that person would be right. When the 101 Brent comes along.
That's not truthful, that's probability.
Yeah, I do.
The
I do
101
think.
might trick you and not to punch you. That's not truth. Is something that, as I said, exists, and that's why I asked if he was religious, because then my argument would have been slightly different. Because religions, all religions talk. All the Abrahamic religions all have objective truths to them. That things that they say that is this case, regardless of how, like these things are like set in stone. And but if you're not religious, then you can. That's what kind of like secularism is about. It's about everything is subjective and everything is based on your experience. And if everything is based on your experience, everything is malleable. Do you know what I mean? And if everything is malleable.
If I tell my kids, so for example, I will not say to my boys, "Oh, everyone is evil" or "everyone is bad." I'll say you've got some good people and you've got some bad people. And whether or not he has to decide what is good and bad. And you know, as he goes through experiences, then
That
he
is
can
my
understand.
dangerous though.
The truth is that some people are good and some people are bad. But I wouldn't tell him, my boys, that everybody is bad. That's not true. And I wouldn't say to my boys that everybody is good. I'll say that's what it is. It's subjective, right? And it defines what is good and what is bad, right? But some people find this good and some people find that bad, right? But based on your experience, you kind of identify a truth that you exist within your sort of, based on your sort of experience, right?
You said that he has to decide what is good and what is bad. What if he decides like something socially reprehensible is good?
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, there you go. Moral relativism. We're done. We're done. If moral is relative, we're done.
No, but you have to remember, like, what is good and what's evil, though? Because, like, surely good is different.
Exactly.
Is
Without religion,
different things.
moral is actually relative.
Without what? Sorry.
Without religion, morals are actually relative.
Well, there you go. There you go. But
they are.
What do you mean relative? To subjective or?
So that means that
everybody's not the same. They're not linear. I don't believe they are. There's not one rule of thing.
No, because you have to have like a consensus to decide what is good. If all of society decides that, like Rome, getting with kids was fine for soldiers. Do you know what I mean? In ancient Rome, you know, they had like little boy toys in it. That was socially accepted. Then we know it's wrong.
It's all right, but when you project onto people and you say, "Oh, that's morally wrong." If someone said that I've done something and they said it's morally wrong, I'll say, "Well, whose morals are you referring to?"
100%.
Because you see what I'm trying to say? You don't know my morals. Who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah.
Exactly. No, like, what you agree with me. So moral is relative unless you're religious. And if moral is relative, that means anything can be justified if they think, well, to me, I think that's good. I like doing it. What's wrong with that?
But this is where the religious thing, and this is where we kind of go around in circles, because religion is an expression of people's culture. So that means your truth or
that's not true.
Religion not an expression of people's culture?
No, you can express. You can. Your culture can. You can. You know, like there's denominations of Christianity. So some churches sing. So you can express your culture through your religion, but it's not an expression of your culture.
Is there different people from different cultures that share the same religion? That's why he would be right.
Yes.
But it didn't start. It started from one culture, right?
And then spread.
Yeah, 100% it did. 100%. It's not
And
even
people have
debate.
different interpretation based on their sort of experiences,
100%.
where you're culturally from, and then you have to think about the characters or characters.
Brent,
whether
how do you feel about that? Religion is an expression of culture.
I've had this debate with Iman before.
Okay.
I'm a Christian before I am a black man.
Exactly, same.
And he was a black man before he's a Christian.
I believe that what was in the beginning wasn't the man.
Okay. With you.
So,
Alright.
Are you a black man before you're a Christian?
In a particular context, yeah. Yeah, 100%. But again, in another particular context, am I even a black man? What does it mean to be black? You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole nother conversation.
Exactly. It's a whole other one. You know what I mean? But,
thank you very much. Welcome, and Black Rob.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, guys.
This is what this platform's for.
Amazing
Appreciate
conversation,
you
man.
Immensely.
You know, sometimes...
Sorry. Kofi's here. Kofi, just your quick thoughts.
Oh, right. Sorry, yeah, I completely forgot. Yeah, I just wanted to agree with what Eman said earlier about society. We kind of need religion because without it, we'll kind of crumble. I think society will crumble. And with regards to the truth, yes, I think sometimes ignorance is bliss. And that's the way society is. I don't think you can just give out the whole truth. Some people, yeah, as you said, can't handle it. And they wouldn't know what to do with it, or it'll create anarchy in society. So if the government for example, I think Black Rob made the point about pharmaceutical companies and them having like what's the word for it? Something that can heal certain diseases, but it'll affect profits and such. And if the truth really came out on that, so, people would riot. So I think sometimes governments do give us half truths to stop society from going crazy. That was the only point I wanted to say. And with regards to people's morals, religion, if there's no religion, like if there's completely no religion, I think some people will just be morally bankrupt. Some people have their own morals, but there are a lot of people who are inhibited by their religious backgrounds, and they try and stay within that. Or even if they come out of that, they still got the backdrop of knowledge of some sort of, deity. So if I really did a mistake, I've got to look up to someone eventually. So that kind of keeps them in check. So I just wanted to agree on Iman on that point. But yeah, I'll log off now.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the call,
Thank you
man.
very much. Later.
Hey, we do some good work on this show, man.
Yes, man, we do, man. Like the video, guys.
It's only whenever you're in, bro.
That's not true. I watch it.
Effect, bro.
That's not true. I watch it sometimes.
I just was saying that. Can you run through all the headlines, please?
Yeah. All right, so...
Did I really press it? I did.
Yeah.
I might as well go,
Yeah, you might as well.
We've got 9 minutes.
Yeah, nah, it's
Yeah, you
long.
might as well go.
Peace out, guys. I got places
All
to
right,
be, so.
All right, so next set of headlines. Donald Trump has confirmed Elon Musk will serve in his cabinet to co-lead a government department. So the president-elect said on Tuesday that the Tesla and ex-owner, who is also the world's richest man, will work with former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, DOG for short. The appointment fulfills a promise that Mr. Trump made to the tech billionaire after he endorsed him in a race for the White House and poured more than $119 million canvassing for him in the 7 battleground states. In a statement, the president-elect said that Mr. Musk and Mr. Ramaswamy will pave the way for an administration to dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies. Next headline, and Jonathan Edge, who's 29 from Liverpool, ran a service uploading illegal services to Fire Stick devices in return for cash-in-hand payments using Facebook advertising and also word-of-mouth recommendations to run his operation. He was sentenced to 3 years and 4 months in prison, which included a separate concurrent sentence of 2 years and 3 months for accessing and viewing the content that he was supplying. He ignored multiple warnings about illegal activity, which were referenced by the judge and treated as an aggravating factor in sentencing. The prosecution was undertaken by the Premier League and supported by several other organisations, including FACT, which is Federation Against Copyright Theft, and also Merseyside Police. Next headline takes us to Uganda, where 2 Ugandans have been detained for allegedly insulting President Yoweri Museveni and the First Lady Janet Museveni, as well as the President's son, General Kainerugaba, on TikTok, basically. 21-year-old David Sengozi, whose alias is Lucky Choice, and Isaiah Sekagiri, who's 28, were remanded in Kigo Prison until Wednesday, when they will make an initial court appearance. They were accused of hate speech and spreading malicious information against the First Family and musicians that were linked to the governing National Resistance Movement. Appearing in court on Monday, the 2 denied the charges. They're jointly charged with Julius Tayebwa, who's 19 and who had already been brought before court and remanded in prison for the same offences. Prosecutors allege that they posted information on TikTok meant to ridicule, degrade, demean, and promote hostility against the First Family and others. Next set headline, and Haiti has sworn in a new prime minister. This is hours after a flight from the United States was hit by gunfire as it made its final approach to the capital, Port-au-Prince. Alex Didier Fils-Aime was formally appointed on Monday by a presidential council after it fired the Caribbean nation's interim prime minister, Garo Corneille. The new prime minister has little political experience, but is the well-connected owner of a dry cleaning chain, and he sits on the board of a local bank. His appointment comes as Haiti has been going through political turmoil since 2021. And that was when there was the assassination of the then president, Moise. and the dire security situation with armed groups controlling large areas of the country. Spoke about this a few times on the show. That was underscored by the shooting at the Spirit Airlines flight and the subsequent closure of Port-au-Prince Airport to all commercial flights on Monday, the second time it has been shut this year. Photographs and video obtained by Al Jazeera appeared to show several bullet holes in the interior of the plane, including the overhead luggage compartments. American Airlines also announced that it was suspending its daily service to Port-au-Prince until November 14th, tomorrow. Local officials confirmed that Port-au-Prince Airport was subsequently closed indefinitely to all commercial flights. Our next headline, as the United States was unambiguous in a message to Israel last month, take specific steps within 30 days to alleviate the humanitarian crisis in Gaza or face consequences. I think we even spoke about this as well. They were clear, right? Under the Biden and Kamala Harris administration, take specific steps within 30 days to alleviate the humanitarian crisis in Gaza or face consequences. That deadline, people, has now passed, and the United Nations is warning that famine is imminent in parts of northern Gaza, but there will be no consequences for Israel. This is what the administration of the outgoing President Joe Biden has said on yesterday. There'll be no consequences. The US assertion caused fury amongst Palestinian rights advocates who dismissed the entire push as another ploy to distract from Washington's complicity in Israel's killing and starvation of Palestinians. And our last headline, and a federal judge on Tuesday sentenced a Massachusetts Air National Guard member, Jack Teixeira, to 15 years in prison after he pleaded guilty to leaking highly classified military documents about the war in Ukraine. Prosecutors had originally requested a 17-year sentence for Mr. Jack Teixeira. Defense attorneys sought an 11-year sentence. They acknowledged that their client was made a terrible decision, which he had repeated over 14 months, but they argued that Jack Teixeira's actions, although criminal, were never meant to harm the United States. His attorney actually said instead his intent was to educate his friends about world events to make certain that they were not misled by misinformation. Sounds like everything we're talking today. The security breach raised alarms over the US's ability to protect its most closely guarded secrets and forced the Biden administration to scramble to try to contain the diplomatic and military fallout. The leaks embarrassed the Pentagon, which tightened controls to safeguard classified information, and disciplined members found to have intentionally failed to take required action about Teixeira's suspicious behavior. And that's it for the headlines. Time to pay them bills, and let's go into the reaction.
Can I just play a video?
Yes.
I'll get up quickly. And getting their money's worth. Furthermore, I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that can...
This is not for the people, it's for you. All right. So apparently, this is what people are calling reparations for white people.
And getting their money's worth. Furthermore, I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all. We are going to have real education in America. Thank you. And getting there.
All right, I'm going to run it again for Emmanuel. Thank you. It's captioned reparations for white people. Let me know what you think about this.
Sounds the same.
And getting their money's worth. Furthermore, I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all. We are going to have real education in America.
Thoughts?
It's the same as here, right? It's just a particular country wanting to, feed the people what they want to feed them, innit? I'm not surprised by this. You know what I'm saying?
All right, then.
Dr. John Henry Clark said something along the lines of, the only role of education is to equip people with information about their past and what they're meant to do in the future, innit? You know what I'm saying? If it is that the government wants them to do a particular thing or wants the masses in a particular country to go in a particular direction, that's their prerogative. But as us who know that we are oppressed in various ways, it's incumbent upon us to educate ourselves on the things that matter to us. Where do we want to go? Let's put the focus into that. You know what I'm saying? We can't expect the white establishment, white supremacy, the West to lead us in a particular direction. We can't expect that.
Sorry. What did you get from that clip?
About education, about certain things being banned from education, and if they try to push it, they're gonna get fined and stuff.
And then the money.
Yeah, they'll get fined a certain amount, the entirety of their thingy, right?
And then the money given to
what?
Money given to who?
I don't know. Remind me.
So I got from that clip, all of that whole DEI bollocks that you guys be pushing within not just the education system, but also like corporate and whatnot. And if anybody loses their job off the back of that, not only would the institution be fined for doing that nonsense, right? But the people who lose their jobs, they're going to get awarded the money, the fine that you collect from the institutions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just finding a way to basically get rid of DEI and that stuff, innit?
Yeah. So people were asking the FBAs, like, you guys were there saying, no to Kamala Harris, right? Because she wasn't running with your Reparations Act and whatnot. And at the time, Trump was there saying, I'll consider. Well, he wasn't, was he? He wasn't considering looking to give them reparations. It was Kamala Harris that was doing that, innit? She was the one who basically teasing them, saying...
I think so. I think Trump was clear about that.
Yeah, he was like, nah, not happening.
He's not interested in that.
Were any of the FBAs... Am I saying it right? FBAs?
Yeah.
Foundation on Black Americans?
Yeah.
Were they in support of Trump?
I'm not too sure, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure.
Okay. It'd be interesting to find out. Because apparently
100%.
they're being asked now.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about this now?
I mean, but that's you can say that to anybody about anything, though. Like, no political party or a leader of a party will represent every single view that you hold there. It's just impossible. This is what I was saying the other day, that people act as though they're just Labour, but there's plenty of conservative values that you hold dear too as black people, as minorities, as working class. We saw it in America. You believe things that both sides, you know what I mean, present to the people. Like, it's always going to be the case. But you just kind of prioritize the things that make sense to you. You can't get everything. There's never solutions. There's just trade-offs. So, yeah.
Did I press the slide?
For a reaction, yeah? Cool.
No, did I?
Oh, you asked? Ooh, I don't think
I
you
did.
No.
Okay.
All right, people. So, I don't really need to read out these fixtures, to be fair, because they are going to be played tomorrow, but I will just, keep you guys aware, just in case anyone's interested in this UEFA Nations League. Kazakhstan will be playing Austria. Armenia will be playing Faroe Islands. Belgium are going to be taking on Italy. France are going to be taking on Israel. Greece will be taking on England. North Macedonia against Latvia. Republic of Ireland will be playing Finland. And Slovenia will be playing Norway. So these games are not tonight. This is going to be on Thursday. Starting from 3 p.m. with Kazakhstan and Austria. All the other games: minus Armenia and Faroe Islands, are going to be from like 7:45 in the evening. And the only other thing is just about Steph Curry, man. So he led the Golden State Warriors to a victory over the Dallas Mavericks, man, on Klay Thompson's return. It was an exciting NBA Cup game. Steph Curry showcased his exceptional skills by scoring 37 points, including the final 12 points for the Golden State Warriors, which secured them a 120-117 win against the Dallas Mavericks. Like I said earlier, this marked Klay Thompson's emotional return to the Chase Center after ending his 13-year stint with the Warriors and also joining the Mavericks last summer. Despite being on opposing teams, Steph Curry and Thompson shared a unique bond, having won 4 NBA championships together. Curry expressed a surreal feeling of facing his former teammate, while Thompson acknowledged the pain of witnessing Curry's game-winning abilities from the other side. And the game also saw victories for the Portland Trailblazers over Minnesota Timberwolves, and also the Milwaukee Bucks over the Toronto Raptors, which set the stage for the upcoming single elimination knockout rounds of the NBA Cup. But that is pretty much it. There isn't much else or anything else really to talk about in sports. There were a bunch of games. In fact, let me mention it, because obviously we are about equality in that. You know what I mean? And there were some games in the Women's League. And Juventus took on Arsenal yesterday, man. The UEFA Women's Champions League. They're still in the group stages, obviously, and Arsenal banged them over, man. 4-0, away. So this is at Juventus' ground. Arsenal, the girls are serious, man. I think Arsenal's always been like the best, though, isn't it? In the women's, Arsenal's always like flourished.
I mean, they're up there. I wouldn't say like they've always been the best.
The best, yeah. But they've always shined, though, innit? I think a lot of their
they've
players
always been
play
competitive.
For
the rest of them.
Yeah, man. So big up Arsenal, man, for doing well over there. I believe Man City also played as well. Man City beat Hammarby 2-0. Also in the in Group D, not also in the Arsenal in Group C. Man City in Group D, and this is obviously the group stages, the UEFA Champions League as well. But yeah, that is pretty much it.
At the height of your pomp and splendor as a footballer, what position and what rating would you give yourself?
10 out of 10, Brent. 10 out of 10. But again, I evolved. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm coming. The second one is coming. So obviously, I started as a striker. You know what I'm saying? Pele would have been proud. And those great forwards would have been proud. But then I started to realize I needed to control and bring about order to a team. So I started to step back. You know what I'm saying? I joined Steven in the midfield. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Yeah. And then with time as well, I realized that I wasn't the same player as I was, and I need to use more the intellect.
So you lost a yard of pace?
I mean, I wouldn't say all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still the fastest podcaster in the country, and I moved back into the defense, the defensive midfield sort of position. You know what I'm saying? Magdalene learned a lot from me, and he obviously went on to revolutionize that position for Real Madrid and Chelsea and that. Yeah.
Okay. What age was that? Because I remember you playing football heavy in primary school.
Yeah.
Were you playing much in secondary school?
Not as much, man.
What were you doing during like break times and stuff?
Selling dinner tickets, selling certain things in the playground. Making money, man.
Yeah, you stop playing football. Like, so was it
Economics.
Saturdays? Was it Saturdays that we saw you sometimes?
Yeah, Saturday I used to play football, innit?
But how often was that? Because I can't remember you playing too tough.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Did you?
There was a certain time I was pretty much there every week, innit?
Serious?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Pretty much, man. What about yourself, Brent? What was your favourite position?
My favourite position was probably like striker. Yeah, I started off as a number 8 for Hackney District. And obviously, I don't know if it's because of the confidence levels playing with white people. I know I went for, I remember when I got picked. That was when Stephen and Daddy were there. Like, the whole glasses and the sports band, it really threw me off in it. And how people would kind of fixate on it. Yeah. But anyway, I remember the day that they started seeing levels and they started seeing that I could be more Vieira than you're saying Makaleli. Baute Pate, right? And that's when everything changed. But then he realized I'm not supposed to be in the midfield. Because I started off in secondary school as a striker. I was not a midfielder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, my favorite position is definitely striker. Obviously, when it's a play with Steven, it's completely different because we understand each other. So the telepathy there was just like blinding. I don't know if I miss football too tough. I mean, it's been so long. I remember the time when I thought I would never play again. I thought my life was over. I thought I was finished. Like, I'm thinking, what can I do? Women exist, you know. And here's me saying, my life is finished. I got injured and I couldn't run the same way again. I thought I could never run again because of how this particular injury felt. I had metal in my toe.
Yeah, I remember.
Right?
Your toe was finished, man.
It was finished. Stephen's just not giggling. But he's like, I never thought that the tackle was like that. Animal.
Oh, was it him?
Me. It was him.
You sure?
It was him. It was him.
Wow.
Yeah. But I then quickly realized, like, there's more to life.
I'm telling you, man.
There's more to life.
There's more, man.
There's more to life, man.
But that more can ruin you, man. You know what I'm saying?
I have no what you're talking about.
Neither do I.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Ah, whatless boy. All right, wrap up.
Let's wrap it up. All right, people, it's been an amazing show, man. It's been an amazing show. Let's run through what we spoke about today. Trigger warning, guys. We spoke about the Archbishop of Canterbury resigning over the church abuse scandal, where we're talking about Mr. John Smythe's abuse, man. And it was published in a report. And the Church of England, they pretty much were privy to everything that was going on back in 2013. But they didn't really push it to the police, man, and notify the relevant authorities. We also spoke about the league tables that are going to be released. West Streeting is promising a no-holds-barred sweeping review of NHS performance in England, so that basically you know how well your hospital is performing whenever you go there. We also spoke about the North Korean troops who are joined in the fight alongside Russia to try and claw back some of the land lost in this war against Ukraine, and they're looking to do it ASAP, basically before President Trump gets sworn in. Donald Trump confirmed Elon Musk as part of his cabinet as well as Vivek Ramaswamy as well, man. He's going to be, both of them are basically going to be working in the Department of Government Efficiency. He spoke about that man who got jailed for more than 3 years for loading illegal streaming services onto Amazon Fire Sticks. Guys out there, man, be careful, man. Be careful. Obviously, he was the guy that was kind of doing it, innit? But still, be careful. This man's in prison, man. We spoke about Ugandan TikTokers who were held and detained for allegedly insulting the first family, man, the President Museveni. Yeah, man, they're really tackling freedom of speech over there, which is a shame. We also spoke about Haiti as well, and a new prime minister that's been sworn in as well. And this happened hours after a flight from the United States was hit by gunfire as it made its final approach to Port-au-Prince. We also spoke about how the US is looking to still support Israel, despite giving them the 30-day Gaza aid ultimatum. Again, they said that Israel needs to take specific steps within 30 days to alleviate the humanitarian crisis in Gaza or face consequences. Those 30 days have elapsed, and Joe Biden has said there will be no consequences for Israel. And in the sports, we spoke about the UEFA Nations League. England will be playing on Thursday against Greece, and they're pretty much preparing for that. We spoke about Steph Curry leading the Golden State Warriors to victory over the Dallas Mavericks as well, in an emotional game for him and Thompson. And I think the highlight of the show was definitely our topic of the day, where we spoke about, well, it started with Archbishop Welby and his resignation. But basically, the importance of institutions hiding the truth or keeping the truth or giving the truth to the people in drips and drabs, you know what I'm saying, to kind of maintain the integrity of certain institutions. But is it worth it? Should the people be given the truth? Can the people even handle the truth? That's basically what we spoke about today, man. You guys were amazing. Big up Ebony for calling up. Big up Welcome for calling up. Big up Blackwell for calling up. Big up Chijoke for calling up. Big up Kofi for calling up. Big up everyone for calling up, man. You lot make the show. We'll be here tomorrow again. And we should have a guest tomorrow.
Bathroom Diaries.
Big up Bathroom Diaries as well. I think I saw Bathroom Diaries the other day, you know. Yeah, I was driving and I saw her.
She's big business, you know. Big photographer.
Yeah, big up her. I'm thinking if I should say the area, just in case she minds. I don't know if she might mind. Yeah.
Yeah, better not.
Yeah, exactly. But yes.
Why didn't you stop to say hello?
No, I was driving it.
Yeah, you could have stopped to say hello.
No, but where I was, it was like a thingy situation.
That's what the windows are for. Bathroom Diaries!
No, it was quick, innit? Like, I basically had to turn, I get caught in the yellow box, innit? And hello's not worth £100. So I had to move about my business. So, yeah, man.
All right, so there was a little chat in the chat box.
Okay.
About Brent not wanting to be party in 2024. I said that I was perceived to be more like Vieira. But nobody said, but you don't want to be Vieira in 2024. They understood that. But when I said in the same breath, I was more that than what they thought I was, which is a party, then you should have understood the example that I gave. But no, in my pump and prime, I was never like party. In my pump and prime, I was never like Vieira at all. I was like Henri. Anybody that asks me, like, oh, Brent, I've never seen you play football. Who do you, like, fashion yourself off of? I'm like, it's Henri. There's nobody that could basically come closer. They used to be, before Henri, it was Ronaldo, innit? Yeah, before. But, yeah, I was prolific, man. But then Steve just killed my career. Just killed it. Absolutely killed it. But anyway.
Yes.
Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We shall be here tomorrow. You say we have a possible guest tomorrow?
Yes, potentially, yes.
Potentially. It's so funny how it is. It's a potential.
Yeah.
All right. God willing, it's going to be a great conversation tomorrow. A bit of a legend if he or she or they come true. And yeah, it will be one day before the weekend. So
yes. Like the video, guys. Subscribe as well.
Telling y'all, TNB is going to be very, 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 very exciting very, 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 very soon. All of this information that we haven't been, full circle, we've been keeping information from them.
Drips and
the guy handle the truth.
I'm telling you.
Bro, you're right. You're right. You're right.
I hate to say it, but...
And you did say drip feed it. You did say drip feed it. Hey, it might have proven to be right. You see? When nobody else is here, you have 100 people dropped off. Mags is gone. I will not repeat this tomorrow. If you were here, you were here. If it isn't, you would. It never happened. It never happened. All right, later, people. Oh, and I was told today that the link that I put up in the description yesterday was wrong. I put M instead of an N, so people were clicking the events link and going to error. Now it's up and running. So
nice.
If you all want to come and shake a leg with us on the last Friday of the month, it will be our last TNB shake a legger.
Yeah, man.
Everybody's gonna be there. All the crew. See, this is the last one. Imagine KMT. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye.
Peace.